Good evening, Barbados. It is a beautiful evening in beautiful Barbados. And tonight it is the Marcia Week show. We are live and well. We are excited. We are kicking and everybody is ready to go. We are excited. Everybody is locked on and we're ready to go. You know, tomorrow is a great day. It's a great day. It's a great day. Tomorrow will be an amazing day in the history of Barbados. February 10th. It's an unusual day that we're going to have tomorrow. Yes, because the people are standing up in Barbados and it's exciting. Are you excited? This is the Marcia Week show. I am Marcia Weeks, and again, coming to you live from Barbados tonight. We are going to talk all about the cyber crime bill. Yes, we're going to discuss that, go into that a bit more, and all the other current topics that are happening in Barbados. Because let me tell you something, nobody's going to take our voice. Nobody will take our voice. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The voice of the people is the voice of God. The voice of the people is the voice of God. If you try to shut down the voice of the people, you're essentially doing what? Shutting up God. You can't shut up God. You can't shut up God. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night. Good night to Tracy Barrow. Tracy Barrow, who has been on from 6:03. Good evening to one and all, she says. Monica Ince. Hey, how you doing, Monica? Good night to the loyal opposition, she says. Oh, good night, Monica Ince says. And there is a loyal daughter, 66. She said, good night, loyal opposition. Please like and share. And that is important. Why do we like and share? Where's everybody else? Where is everybody else? Where's everybody else? 146 of you on and only 3 persons greeting me tonight. Something is wrong. What's going on? Oh my goodness, my people. Those of you watching by Facebook, thank you for joining. Those of you watching by on YouTube, thank you for joining. And once again, I'm going to ask you to like and subscribe. There is a subscribe button that is there. Like and subscribe. Okay. Everybody like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, it's time to subscribe. Yes. I tell you, we've had so many viewers watching these programs, right? But our subscription is only what, 2,500 and something, right? But if all of us, if everybody decide you're going to subscribe, then when we have a notice to go out, then we are going to be able to send our notice out. Is anybody having any trouble commenting? Loyal daughter 666, can you comment maybe so I can know that you are able to comment? Let me know. Let me know. Somebody type something in the chat. Let me know if it's coming through. The last comment I'm seeing is at 6:22 this evening. And so it's telling me, I have a feeling something is wrong. Can you hear me? Am I being heard this evening? Let me know if you can hear me. I want to know if something seems stuck. So I want to make sure there are 186 of you on. I'm not seeing any comments since I've been on. What's going on? What's going on? You know, regardless of what they do, let me tell you something. Tomorrow is a historic day. Tomorrow is a march that it's not like the other marches. Tomorrow is a very different march. I'm telling you. Change is here, Barbados. 195 of you on. There is something that is wrong with my comments. I'm not seeing. The last comment I'm seeing is at 6:28. 6:22. Can somebody message me, please? Sonia is calling me. Somebody's calling me. I want to hear what's happening. Hello?
Try your like chats and see if people go on.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I didn't do anything to change anything. Nothing is changed. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They're okay. So okay. I'm seeing they're coming in now. They're coming in now. Yes, they're coming in now. Okay. Okay. Good. They're coming in now. Yes, they're coming in now. We've been having, listen to me. I'm going to be transparent to you all and tell you something that just happened to us 5 minutes before I came on. Our beloved dog. You see, when I tell you that tomorrow is an unusual day in Barbados. You hear what I tell you? Those of you who have ears to hear, you will understand what I mean. You see, the battle that we're in, it's a spiritual battle. I know some of you would say, "Don't come on here and talk any spiritual, any religion." I'm not talking of religion tonight. Those of you who know I'm not a religious person. That's why the church doesn't, embrace me very well. I'm the person who went and did walk holy on the street in the middle of Kadooment. I'm not a very religious person. I'm a spiritual person, you know. And I want to say something here. I want to thank you so much, Springtime. I want to say something to you guys that this, I'll soon say good evening to the rest of you. I want to talk to you about some spiritual things, right? There are some powers that are operating in this country, and I want you to know that the warfare that we are in, this war against the citizens of Barbados, it's not just a natural war, it is a spiritual war. And tomorrow, there is something about tomorrow's march that the spiritual world is afraid of. Believe me when I tell you, we did we did 7 of these types of marches, and then probably another 5, in all last year. We probably did about 12 marches last year. I'm telling you, you see this particular march, there is something unusual about it. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm telling you, and what I know is that a change is here. The change is here. The voice of the people. The people are speaking. You hear me? I went into town today and people were just calling me, people that I don't know, they're calling me like they know me. And you might not see everybody out tomorrow, but I tell you, the people are listening and the people are speaking. Someone is afraid of this march tomorrow. Do you know, since yesterday, I started to feel a whole set of confusion around me and all kinds of different things happening. But those of you know I'm a woman of prayer, and I've been praying. And I called others to pray with me. 5 minutes before I went on, the dog found some poison and ate it. 5 minutes before I come on to the show. Do you understand? 2 days ago or 3 days ago, the car went down and went into the mechanic. Of course, we would want to have a vehicle tomorrow, right? So it's just been one thing after the next. And I decided in that 5 minutes, I decided to come on here and listen. And we're gonna blaze fire tonight. We're gonna blaze. You see that little fire behind me there? That represents the presence of God. Whatever you believe in. I am talking about my belief. You understand? You believe in your belief. I talk about my faith here. And I'm telling you, a change is here. We always say a change is coming. A change is here. Charms Dean, Charm J. Dean, Born Again, Latoya Fleming, all of you, Saving the Lost Ministries, yes. Yes, Rachel Thornhill. Yes, come on, people. Come on, people. Listen, listen. Colin Clark. Springtime. Kali B, good night. This is, we are in a war. You hear me? Put on your clothes and come out tomorrow. You hear? Put on your clothes and come out tomorrow. I went down to the police and someone said some foolish things on this chat. And if you are listening, those comments were passed on to the police force, just so you understand. We're not stupid people. We pray, but we're not foolish. You hear what I tell you? You hear what I tell you? If you intend to do anything funny tomorrow, trust me. First of all, you're going to get a lockdown in the realm of the spirit. That's the first thing that's going to happen to you. And in the natural, the law enforcement, the police service going to deal with you. So all the threats. So I come on here tonight and I rebuking every threat and know that whatever threat that you have sent, the police has it. I want you to understand that. Are we dealing with you, the intercessors dealing with you in the realm of the spirit, and the police got you? We're going to see the manifestation of it in this natural. I serious tonight, folks. I serious tonight. That spell is broken off of us. The spell is broken off of us. Tomorrow's march is a different march. You believe me? Tomorrow's march is a different march. The voice of the people in unison, in a chorus, are speaking. The voice of the people, it's the voice of God. And you cannot stop the voice of God. We fear no evil. I want to put that out into the airwaves. So do whatever you want to do. We are not intimidated, neither in the spirit nor in the natural. People, it's time we understand, that this here is not just, this is more than us coming on here and talking. Our people were put under a spell. Do you understand? They were put under a spell. I believe it. There are people who told me that they went into the ballot box and they don't know what came over them. Yeah, they don't know what came over them, and they found themselves doing voting a certain way that they didn't expect to vote. Those of you don't want to deal with spiritual matter. Let me tell you something. Whatever they have done, as much as I come on and yes, I hold the DLP accountable, and when they're doing foolishness, I'm going to talk. When they're doing right, I'm going to big them up, as I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to talk about the initiative that they're doing with the blackout, and I'm going to support that. Okay? I'm going to support that. And let me tell you something. You think what is happening to the DLP is all natural? Those that want to come off can come off now, because I'm telling you, we're not fighting no just a natural war, Of course, there's a natural manifestation that we have to write letters and we have to march and so on, but we're in a spiritual battle. And not just in Barbados, but worldwide. Yes? It's a serious thing, Kamar. Very, very, very serious. And I want to thank everybody who has been giving. Those that have been giving, donating, the waters. We now have, as far as I see, seven cases of water. 7 cases of water have been donated. The placards are ready. Thank you, CG, and all those who went down. This time around, I didn't get a chance because I told you I wasn't feeling well since yesterday till today. Not myself. And I want you to understand, those of you who know to pray, we're all from different, walks of life, different faiths. And I'm not here promoting my faith. People can pray. I know, no, this is my Christian folks are going to get mad with me when I say this, but I believe, I don't look down on people's faith at all. I think it's disrespectful to do that. And we all pray. And I'm saying, let us pray. Let us pray. Let us pray. Come out as you're marching tomorrow, you're praying. Do you understand? Those of you who are Rastafari, those of you who are Christians, those of you who are Muslims, whatever it is, your faith is, come out tomorrow. Come on. I'm not the one to judge and to say whose prayers. I'm not into that. The voice of the people, the voice of the people is the voice of God. And you can't silence God. We've been getting reports from people. There are people, you're going to hear some of them on the program here, some whistleblowers. I call them whistleblowers. As close up under some of these people. And they are letting us know everything that we are saying is true. Yeah. They are letting us know what we are seeing is true. The subjugation, the intimidation that's going on inside of there over those 29, over senators, over and the people can't talk. Intimidation, dictatorship happening in here. They want to muzzle us. Tomorrow is a different day. And whether 3 or 30 or 300 or 3,000 out there, I'm still telling you it's a different day. Because it will be 3 or 30 or 300 or 3,000 very, very serious people that are going to be out there. We ready? We say we will risk it all. This is our country. And I had all intentions, we're going to play the national anthem. But because 5 minutes before we were rushing in here trying to figure out what to do with this dog. And we are talking with the vet now and trying to sort it out. But just please pray because we love that dog. You know, it's not a person, but we love the dog. Yeah. I want to say thanks to everybody who's been praying the 24-hour prayer. It ends today and the march is tomorrow. But the 24 hours end today. But if you want to continue, this is what I was told this even before I came on. The organizers called me and they said that we can continue it. Those of you who want to, you can continue. My time was 5 o'clock in the morning and it was wonderful. Yes. Yeah. So, you know, look out for all kinds of things, but we're looking out for God. Because God is a big God and he loves Barbados. Yes? Yes. How many of you coming out tomorrow? How many of you coming out tomorrow? As you think about that, we're going to play the national anthem. The national anthem. We're going to play the anthem now. Okay, guys? Ah, oh my Lord. I'm in my house and I still okay. And why am I muted? Okay, it's muting me, so we have to be careful of that. Yes. Okay, good. I think we're settled down now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that anthem. Thanks to John and thank to our technical team that's working. So we can hear that anthem and see all the imagery, etc. Yes, yes. I think it's settled down now, Joseph. It's settled down. Definitely settled down. And I see my brother. Is it? I'm gonna go back to that comment. Yes, Calvin. I'm very sensitive to that, Calvin. Mackenzie. Good night, Calvin. How are you? I am very sensitive to that, to be honest with you. And not all the time. I try not to do too much of it. Okay. Because I understand. I'm very sensitive to that. And I speak to the Reverend about it. And we discuss because, before we come on and so on. But tonight I had to say something. All right. So bear with me, but I appreciate you and I appreciate your comment. And I see I see God in everybody. So Calvin, I do understand what you're saying. Okay, and I will bear that in mind. Thank you for your comment. I appreciate that. Yes, folks. Now, I was asking who are the people that's coming. Barbara Lovell, all up in the beige and colors. If you got a flag, if you have a flag, you bring the flag tomorrow, all right? If you have a flag, bring your flag, right? Anything Barbados, bring anything Barbados colors. You bring them tomorrow, right? I don't normally wear my beige and hat, and so I more than likely will have on my hat. Yeah, so bring anything Barbadian. I hear the prime minister in the speech that she made, and when she was talking about the water at one of these whatever speaks she has, and she said that we are under the guise of patriotism, that we some of us are committing treason, you know and but she doesn't understand there is just a refound, a renewal of our love for our country, and that's really why we're standing up. We love this rock. Yeah, we'll be, yes, 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 yes. Oh, listen. As CG say, can't do placards and no show up. We'll be there as usual. And CG is always early. CG, how many placards were you able to do, CG? I normally come by, but today I just was just out of it today. I didn't, and I knew it. I said, man, I didn't get to go by CG just to encourage her, and I can't make anything, and I'm not the best craft person, but I will go and hold something for them and do something there. Dave and I, we will show up, but I did not get a chance to show up today. Um, yes, bring your trumpets if you want to. There are 41 placards that were done, but 41 or so. You know what? There are some people who they've said that one person they did their own placard and sent me a picture of it. It was so beautiful. And I know that CG has a special one there for Mr. Franklin, who's just coming in. He's setting up. Yeah, yeah. Should we bring our trumpets? Bring your trumpet. You have a trumpet? Bring your trumpet. Bring your drum. You got drums? Bring your trumpet. We have permission to play music. You want to bring a conga drum? Play the drum. You want to bring a trumpet? Bring the trumpet. You want to bring a tambourine? Bring the tambourine. All right? Just know the police, they're there. We had a meeting with them today. And I just wanna shout out to the police service who are with us. I tell you, they bend over backwards to us. And as I told you, them two little threats, we send them off this evening to the police. They go sort them out. Yeah. So and so on. Now the problem with it, somebody's asking, will it be live? The challenge with the live is that when we play recorded music, so far what we're realizing is that they are taking us down. I don't know if it's just probably Facebook might be a little better with us, and I would rather risk it with Facebook than I risk it with YouTube because I want to preserve this channel for us. You see, I think I've lost about 3 or 4 channels. I can't remember, right? Because they think I'm rebellious. I say the things that I mustn't say. So they took my channels from me, and I'm trying my best to preserve it, not because I'm afraid of YouTube, but I want us to have I want this to remain for us. This is us, Barbados. We come on here, and we do this from our heart, you know, and we love Barbados. We love Barbados. That means we love the people. Barbados is made up of the people, and it's for you. This channel is open for you, right? Yeah. So we're doing our best to keep the channel going, which is why I would say subscribe to it, like. If you haven't liked it, subscribe. It's a little bell that's there. If you hit that bell, and it will walk you through. It's very simple to subscribe. It tells you, right? Those of you who are not too sure, you can ask your grandchildren or your children to help you, because we know we have some retired persons who are joining, right? Yeah. So yes, okay, good. Good. I'm reading your comments. So we'll do our best to try to carry it live. Yes, Sir Alfred, we don't want to do anything foolish to get any copyright infractions against the channel. Important. Even that, I played the anthem and I double check with cost cap everybody to make sure. I felt I could play the anthem, but I would love to play music on here, but if you play music, we get in trouble. And I don't want any issues. I want us to have, this is ours, right? That we can have that conversation, right? Now, tomorrow we will have water for you. We ask you to come on time. Come on time. Coming on time doesn't mean 10. Coming on time means like 9:30. Because when we come, we get to line up ourselves properly. We want to do everything in decency and in order, right? We want decency and order. So what we wanted to do is to come early so we can line up. Bring water, but we have water for you. We will have water for you, okay? And if you want to wear a little hat for the sun, we have hired a van for those who are not able to walk. We do have the van, and we are paying for that to make sure that we want to make sure the van is there and there's a driver for the van. So we are using your donations and we're paying for that van, okay? And so that you're comfortable. And the van is not if you're tired, okay? Please, let's be let's all work together. The van is going to be for those persons who have difficulty, health challenges in walking, and they're up, and I know at least of 2 persons or 3, and the van will be there for them, all right? So we want to make sure that happens. And I want to thank you all for your donations. They're going towards the police, towards the sound system, towards the truck that the sound system is on, towards the van that is in the back. We're not going to buy any water. I don't believe, if the crowd is very big, we will have to buy the water on the road when we are going along. But that's what we get the funding for. The permission, we don't know what the cost is. Normally, the police would tell me We have a roundabout figure, but they did not give me that invoice today. They said that they know we have a relationship and we will take care of it afterwards. So they weren't quite ready for us, right? Somebody wants to know if the anthem can be played by the Parliament building. We will do our best. I will ask the technical people to do that. Yes, I can. I feel that, Natasha. I feel that. Yeah. And CG is reminding us, and Mr. Caswell is coming in. He seems to be having some challenges. I think he should be about ready now. Yes, listen, man. We fight. We are warriors, you know. He's been trying to get in for so many minutes now. He's trying to get in, right? But and Nigel says that the government is not an all powerful gang exercising absolute unbridled authority over the citizens. Correct. And I know Nigel is working on something for us, but this week was very busy for him, and he didn't get a chance to get it done. Right. Those of you in the diaspora who have given, thank you so much. We are going to go in the week, as I told you, our vehicle is down to collect everything. By that time we'll be ready to pay the police by Monday, Tuesday when we get the invoice from them. So we've earmarked certain funds for that. Thank you for the to the diaspora. To those who say that we're getting money from some right wing or whatever, tell them that's a complete lie. It is coming from us, all of us that come on here. Myself, Mr. Franklin, Dave, Kimar, everybody put their pocket. You hear what I tell you? To make this happen. CG, who go and she buy the cards and they buy the ink, the markers, and everybody put something in this. All right, to make it happen. The persons who brought the water this week, the drink, those who saw me in town and let me know that they're coming. It's everybody. And that's what is bothering them, you know. It's the people, the power of the people. And just before Mr. Franklin comes on, we want to invite everybody. If listen, everybody, all walks of life, all religion, all parties, everybody. Tomorrow we're not wearing no party colors. Tomorrow we're Bajans. So if you're DLP, if you're PPP, if you're UPP or whatever, you're welcome. And let me tell you something. I will be joining the DLP's initiative. I'm a fair person. The DLP is doing something. I told you that when they're not doing anything, I am telling you, I don't care what you all do. I know some of you writing caps. You don't want us to touch the DLP. Wrong show. Wrong show. When they're off, they need to be told that they're off. We are the ones that will keep them accountable. Do you understand? We will keep them accountable. All of these political parties, nobody. We should not be so committed to any party that we cannot speak the truth to them. Do you understand? We should never be so committed. And I'm saying tonight, I commend the DLP for their join in this with the blackout. So I haven't gone on social media. I don't see. I can't black out my pages yet because I'm promoting the march. So that would make sense, right? But I will at some point black out my pages to join with them because I'm a fair and balanced person. You've heard me on here when they do programs that I like, the government, I say I like them. Caswell might not like them, but I would say I like them, but I have, it's not being executed properly, right? We are going to be fair on here. And I'm going to applaud Dr. Yearwood and the DLP team for that. All right. And I, Marcia Weeks, will join them in the blackout. And we invite them to come down tomorrow. We are not repping any party. It's all about Barbados. Okay. Mr. Franklin is ready and waiting to come in. Mr. Franklin, good evening.
Good evening. I thought I was not going to get in tonight because the computer dropped out so many times, it boot back up. All kinds of things happening to me tonight. I don't understand it. The thing got charged on it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're trying to hack me or what. And but I got another device able to go on for that one. I said they're not. they're
Mr.
not going to stop
Franklin,
me.
it's been a fight, and you are all of us. And I saw how you were going back and forth. Back, I was there praying in my heart, and I saw that you were able to come on. But I will tell you off air. I'm not going to repeat what happened to us before we came on. We're not going to give too much energy to that, right?
Marcia, what you were talking about with the supporting the DLP, I went to DLP branch meetings and I spoke with them. I don't have an issue with the DLP per se,
I
but
know that.
when they're not doing what they're supposed to do, I will tell them. And if I don't, if I because my family, if my family they're doing things that I don't like, I tell them. You know, and I'm not going to sit down there and let them believe that they are right. When they are right, I will say so. When it was in the Senate and the government came with something that was positive, I said so. And they were shocked. I said, really? You support the government? I said, no, I support the government. I support what you're saying now. You know, but I must have the freedom to agree or disagree with you. And I said to them, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I spoke at 3 BLP branch meetings, well,
DLP,
DLP
DLP.
branch meetings, and I said to them, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Mayor Martin is the enemy of the people of Barbados. And if she's the enemy of the people of Barbados, she will be mine. And she is your enemy. You connect the dots. But if they are failing to do what I think is right, I will say so. I don't hate anybody in the Democrat Liberal Party. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of friends over there. I got a lot of friends in the BLP. How you think someone's got some of my information? You know what I mean? um, you know, so even when they speak in the parliamentary groups, they talk this about me here. You know, so I understand when they were planning when they called the election, one person was saying, but you know, we're going to talk about husband and the nurses, and a few of them agree with the prime minister. She said, well, look, she can shut it down, you know, because I had more support that day than she did in her cabinet and in her parliamentary group. But I am fair to all of them. Like yeah, and the thing is, up to the other day, I you know, sometimes I help people, and sometimes if it's more than I can handle, I I would seek help for them elsewhere. And trust me, yeah, I call upon Kirk Humphrey to assist to the people that I help. And by the next day, they had assistance. You know, he moved with alacrity and he helped those people who really
And
needed
he's
it.
going to do it because he knows it has to do with you.
You
He
know,
knows because he knows you're going to talk about him and you're going to make a big thing if he doesn't. You see, it's all about the accountability, you know.
right? And I'm going to make a big thing. Not that he has. You know,
Hmm.
I am fair to them. I think I called him, and I think within one day, um, both persons got relief, you know, and badly needed. I cannot afford from my own resources what they needed. I called him,
Yeah.
you know, and the thing is, he he is one of the politicians that I have some time for. You know, he came up under Hamila, you know, and he's different thing here. Hamila is that he has um paper qualification Hamila didn't have, but he has that same type of mentality. He tries to help people, so I
Hmm.
knew that he would have helped. And when he heard the story, and just one day, you know, so I commend him, and I will promise him that if I needed more help again, I'll call. You
Hmm.
know, but so I'm not opposed to any one of them. But if they do foolishness, I will say so. Humphrey has done well for those people that needed it. They were in dire straits. And
Hmm.
within the next day, they were helped. I commend him. I can't do other than that. I will not, if he does something that I don't like, I will say so too.
Yeah. It's the same thing when the prime minister had started this thing about Africa and so on, because I'm very African conscious and centered. Um, I commended the prime minister, and I was even defending her on Facebook about it, because there were some people within the Christian community who felt that she should not be connected to Africa, and I was defending her. But until I mean the burying of the flag and the whole, I'm like, no, this is craziness. And then when I spoke with the people in Ghana, the people that I met, because the truth of the matter is, as I told you, I wouldn't bother to go over that. Those connections that she went down in Ghana with are the connections that we made with the film and then passed them on to Minister um, John King, and that's a fact. And those connections were made, and so she went down there with those connections, you know. And then when the people told me they believed that it was some ancestral bones that were in the those Ghanaians were fooled. You see what I mean? So something good. Anytime they start out good, and then it just is a mess, lies and all kinds of things. Those people to this, when I told them, the bishop on the other line, he was shocked when I was telling him what happened. He's like, I can't believe you, Mrs. Weeks. The people laid out, and because they said they were doing that, then the Ghanaians gave them extra. They rolled out the red carpet for them, you see? But it was a lie, it was a gimmick. So, but anyway, I'm not going to bother to go over that. Tomorrow is a big day, Mr. Franklin. Tomorrow is a big day.
I am looking forward. I am looking forward to it. As a matter of fact, today I had calls from people who I associate with as trade unionists, and two people called me and they said they want to be there. They're coming out. They said we watched the show, but I'd never marched before, but I'm marching this time, and they bring some friends.
Yes.
So but this lady, she's quite delicate, very, and I didn't expect her. I've known her for years, and when she told me that she's coming, I said, well, at least, you know, people know are not pleased with with this government's behavior, and they're willing to show it now because this government has reached the point of absurdity. You could imagine you going to tell a fellow that if police come and tell you open your computer, let me get it, and you don't do that, you could be arrested and charged and fined $70,000 under normal law. If a policeman wants to arrest you, he has to give you what we in Barbados call the judge's rules, where they tell you that you don't have to say anything, that kind of the Americans call it the Miranda rights thing, but in Barbados we call them the judge's rules. But when you're watching TV, you will hear the police say to the people, you have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can be used against you in the court of law. We have that similar provision in our system, but we call it the judge's rules. And this act will take away those rights from you. If you, and the thing is, I could go downtown and say something, and it will not be deemed to be defamation because I'm telling the truth. But this act says whether it's true or not. And you can imagine you can lock up somebody for telling the truth. This government has lost its mind, if it ever had one. So we must get out there and make sure that we still have the right to speak. I'm not asking you to defame anybody, or not. If you defame anybody, you will get a letter in your tail anyhow. But I can't help myself. So I'm not asking about defame anybody, but if you tell the truth about somebody, first of all, defamation. This act, and for the better part, is speaking to defamation on a computer. That's what it is. So we don't even need some of those provisions because they're already in the law. Because if you make a statement, if you write it, you speak it, you draw it, you could defame people by pictures. So if it is not defamation, because it is true, what makes it a criminal offense to say it under this act? And this
Mm-hmm.
act only deals with if you have it on the computer. And so
Right.
it's basically defamation on a computer that they want to, that they should be trying to. But you don't need a law for that. I
Mm-hmm.
understand you might need something for the parts dealing with child pornography and grooming and that kind of stuff. Of course, I support them on that. But you
Mm-hmm.
have something good, and then take that good thing and then nasty it up because they have an agenda, and they sneak these things through without telling people. Now, that if people did not stand up and speak to these things, they would get away with murder because there's no opposition in the house. So that is why we have to speak out, because I do not want to live in a country where I have to be afraid to tell the truth. And this thing is, just like Sierra Leone, when the guy made statements, they couldn't arrest him. But because then somebody put it on the internet, he's arrested. Because
Right.
that is the same provision that we have in here now. You can speak it publicly because it is not defamation, but if you
Mm-hmm.
put it on the computer, it is a criminal offense.
Mm-hmm.
These people got to be mad. And the thing is, there are lawyers out there. They have lawyers on their side. You have, but most of them don't go court and they don't do no real work. They do a lot of non-contentious business.
Yeah.
But you went to law school, so you forgot everything you learned at law school. This reeks of a totalitarian kind of system that we want to implement in Barbados. We want
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that our people, more like Stalin, they want to run this place, and you have no right to say anything. Well, they will have to do that when I'm passed, or if I am no longer able to speak. But as long as the Lord gives me breath,
Mm.
and I will speak the truth, and I will
Correct.
highlight the truth to these people around here. So all they have to do is to do the right thing. And I will be the most quiet fella in Barbados. I am speaking out. And if you would realize, myself, when they got the second um, 30 love thing, I said, look, this is what the people want. Let them have it. I'm not bothering my head with this. But then when they went and they tried to carry away the national insurance money by giving the prime minister the authority to recommend to the prime minister how to spend the national insurance money, I had to speak out. And that's when we spoke. And now it is my understanding that they have already started, even though they changed back the law to where it was, but they're still doing it. They ignore what the law says now, and they're going to, because they understand now that CIBC, they bail out CIBC with national insurance money here recently. But
Wow.
I'm waiting for the details. So I'm challenging them to come out and say to us, what is the arrangement with CIBC and the national insurance? Because national insurance now has bought shares or whatever into CIBC to keep CIBC in Barbados, and with
Wow.
national insurance money. And we have people like
That's not the
Rachel.
same thing we were discussing on the show, but they went
Yeah,
ahead and put their hand in the national insurance money again.
right? And people like Rachel, who got injured on the job, can't get her injury benefits, but you can take the same national insurance money that she should be getting and bailing out your friends and making friends with people with the national insurance money. Oh, like no, Rachel didn't get your money even though they agreed to pay.
Rachel, for those of you who don't know, Rachel is a young lady who fell in the well by accident, where she was working for the government, and she fell in a well because she went to use a bathroom, meaning she went to use the bushes because they did not provide any bathroom facility for her. She fell in the well, Mr. Franklin. They
30
didn't want
feet.
to pay 30 feet. They didn't want to pay her out, pay her anything. They wrote her and said she wasn't an employee. She was, I don't know, she was a what? Employer or consultant? I
She,
don't
she,
know.
she was
Contractor?
she was a contractor,
That she
a
was a
private contractor.
they claimed she was a private contractor, wouldn't want to pay her out. And Mr. Franklin went to battle for Rachel free of cost. He won't say it. I am going to say it. Free of cost. And I know this as a fact. He never took a dollar from Rachel. In fact, don't kill me for this one, Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin instead gave her whenever, whatever she would need at whenever time, and try to take care of her, visit her, everything, and make sure that she's okay, right? And he went to battle for her, and they won the case, and she's supposed to get the money. To this day, they have not given that girl any money as yet. Huh? They have not given Rachel any money, but they went and dipped their hand into the NIS money. And the allegation here is that they bailed out CIBC. Huh? You think that that is right? A rotten rich company, and this lady still have a steel in her foot, cannot work. And these are the things. Sorry, Mr. Franklin, I take over the thing because
No problem.
it annoys me with this. This is why I keep opening up my computer to come on, because of things like this. You know. Back to you, Mr. Franklin.
So we have a government that campaign with slogans like "Mayor Cares." I always say that they missed the S from cares, not the last S, the first one. Mayor Cares, because she does not look out for the people who she claims to care about. We have poor people in this country that are the most vulnerable people that need support from the government. The rich people don't need the support. They already got the money. They keep their money in the banks and use government money. And the money that is paid into national insurance by the people, that should be paid to the people when they need it, when they're in dire straits. We have a case in Barbados now. Grand Barbados is now 12, 13 years that these people's cases before the severance payments tribunals, and the people they get the money, some of the people dead. And they're messing around with money, would not put tribunals in place. And then when the tribunals are in place now, I don't even have to start back, because since they start national insurance as this new entity, they stop the national insurance, the tribunals from working until they can get something right. I don't know what it is that they're going to get right, but it's to stop the tribunals. And so that means that if you go to national insurance and the officers at national insurance determine that you are not supposed to get any money, they must always tell you, anytime they deny you at national insurance, they must give you the right to appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And you then have 21 days to appeal. But now the people that you're appealing to are not allowed to work. This is what this government has done.
Wow.
They're not taking care of the people who need to be taken care of. They look out for the people who can be concours and things of this world, who don't need any money. They got more money than they need, and they ain't gonna be broke ever in this life. But you're always finding that they're getting all the contracts right now. They're billing the same people, billing the district hospital, on top of the water table there, and they're pushing work their side. And the small people, a small man can't get into work,
Hmm.
and we are supposed to sit down and shut up and don't say anything. Well, I'm very sorry, because small people come to me every day with tears in their eyes. And I'm not exaggerating when I say with tears in the eyes. When people come to me, I'm to cry, and I have to sit down. You know how hard it is to watch to see a big man cry.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't easy. And I can understand a fellow crying if your mother dead or something. So, but not when you can't feed the children. And why? Because the government making sure that people, and if you're, mind you, right now, if you're a dem,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting squeezed.
Wow.
I have represented more dems. Unity was started in 2010. Since this administration came in, I have represented more dems than they represented between 2010 and before they started. I will tell you.
Wow.
And they keep Going, for the time I asked them, I said, but you're them, right? When I hear them come with the story and it don't make sense, I say, you're them. You say, how you know? I said, because they're treating all so. And then I have to go there and fight to get these people's rights restored. They are very tribalistic. They destroy anybody who don't support them. But that is not what the democracy is about. When you become the government, you become the government of all the people of Barbados, not the
Correct.
people that voted for you.
Hmm.
I work for David Simmons. And when people come to him, man, he never saw party, color, anything. If you wanted help, you needed help, you got it. I remember one day I told his wife, I said, you know, if he were a woman, he would got about 15 children. She told me, what do you mean? I said, man, he can't tell nobody, no. He's tried to help everybody, don't care who you were.
Hmm.
And that is what I come along seeing with him. I know these people here, so you got to show your party colors. If you don't show your party colors, or somebody got to know that you're in the party, you can't get by. And if you know that you're them, boy, you ain't getting promoted in public service. You find that right now, the Barbados Labour Party people are getting all the top jobs in the public service, whether they qualify for them or not. They've reached a stage where there's a provision in the law, the Public Service Act, where the minister determines the qualifications for a post. And really, it is not the minister who makes the determination. It is the people in the ministry who evaluate what the qualification should be, and then the minister signs off on it because that's their responsibility. But you have a situation now where people who are not qualified, they just change the qualifications for them and say, like what's happening in immigration now. Because the chief immigration officer is not qualified for the job. And I know people can curse me now because her husband and I have been friends from the time we were little boys. But that is the fact. What they did, they claimed that her experience amounts to the qualifications that she needs. When there were people already there with the qualifications and doing the job already.
Hmm.
And the person who was doing the job and qualified to do it, they take them down and put up somebody who they manufacture qualifications for.
Hmm.
And that is what, and the thing is, the lady that was doing it now, she is not known to be a Barbados Labour Party supporter. So
Hmm.
if you're not a Barbados Labour Party supporter, you can't hold a big job like chief immigration officer. And they come up and they change the rules midstream on you to make sure that their people get the jobs. That is what is happening in Barbados today. And people think that, oh, things are good, things are nice, things are rosy. And then she holds what do you call them, a Paris Speaks meeting and then go on and talk to the people, and people think that she's doing something and give her credit for it. But no, don't give them credit for what they tell you. Look and see what they're actually doing.
Yes.
What they're
Yeah.
doing is hurting the people of this country who do not support them.
And Mr. Franklin, I wanna thank God for people like yourself, who are standing up for people who are not able to stand up for themselves. And one of those other persons, I was sitting, down and thinking about him today, is Mr. Neil Harper. I've never met him personally. And I remember the first time he came on my show, people said, "Oh, you got him on the show." I just sent a message, and he came on, right? But I want to say something that I'm wondering, Mr. Franklin. Why do you think somebody as qualified as Neil Harper, when you read this man's qualification, Mr. Franklin, this man has worked on this kind of legislation, has been on the team for over 50 countries. He's sought after all over the world. He's Barbadian. Huh? Why do you think, Mr. Franklin, that this government is? Why do you think they're refusing to listen to Neil Harper? I don't know the history. I don't. I'm the new kid on the block. What you seem to know these things. Why you think? What's going on? What do I?
I,
What?
I, I can tell you without knowing any facts. He is not a that Barbados Labour Party supporter, and that is why he would not be heard. And it is not restricted to the Barbados Labour Party. Both parties do it, but this one do it more. Right? I remember years ago they were looking for some person, and they didn't in power this time, and they were looking for someone to help them with the sugar industry, and they asked the United Nations and all kind of stuff, and the United Nations tell them, we use the man here at the Bradford when we have things in Africa. Bartley was a Barbadian, and they didn't want to use him. They didn't want to use him. I, I think them took it on and using them after when he came in. Sorry, I got about my facts. But you got to be a party man because you see, the thing is, civil servants are supposed to be confidential and impartial. So they should serve whoever is in power. But these people who are in power now don't trust anybody to be honest. I suspect it might be a character flaw in them because that they themselves might not be honest. So they want to get people of like minds, but not like minds, but sometimes no ability. You have too many people who sit down and wait on politicians to provide a job for them, and when they party or the power, they suffer because they can't get no work. They ain't got the skills. They ain't got nothing to bring in the money. So then when the people come in, boy, they'll behave bad and they get money and they give the one each other contracts and give them and all kind of stuff they do to and next thing you say they got big house and land, and even some of them at one stage took that when Arthur was in power, call around and tell people that when Arthur is doing a project and they want and he want them to give him some assistance, and the people were throwing in the money, man. They're throwing in the money, and then one of the people who um, gave a donation saw Owen Arthur and said, I made the contribution. What are you talking about? To what? I mean, he investigated. One of the people under him was collecting money and building a house.
I remember that story.
No, that person has high office. But everybody but they probably know that story. But he has high office because they are of like minds.
So they tend to. So Neil Harper, in their mind, is not.
He's not
Is
a
not one of
supporter.
them. It's not one of them. So
Yeah, but they
therefore,
mhm.
they forego this kind of, I mean, because I tell you, when he came on the show, Mr. Franklin, and those of you who are watching, um, Jamaica was calling me, St. Vincent, Trinidad. They said, listen, this is the man we want. Can I get his number? Can he come and speak to us? Because we didn't have anybody else in the Caribbean.
Instead they prefer a person, the Williams boy, I can't remember his first name now, not significant fellow. But he's John Williams' son. And he's there boasting, but he helped draft this act and he's supporting it and he's defending it. He cannot look up. He cannot fit the shoes that Neil Harper discard. And all of a sudden, though, he claims to be an expert, but I hear him talking in too many generalities because he does not he's not specific enough. He's not like the Neil Harper, whatever they call him, that is not like him. Neil is in depth. This fella's a scratchy surface type of guy, but they're pushing him because he is a loyal supporter. That's the problem. So, and he probably goes and reads a few things off the internet and come back and pass them off, and then people believe that he's an expert. He's not an expert. He's
Actually,
an expert in his mind.
in his mind, you see that's the thing, and that I think that is such a waste of talent. This man is in the diaspora. He's in Germany. He's been sought after. In fact, he came to Barbados. I'm trying to remember the story that he told me, that he came to Barbados and they were looking for somebody. And the people international said, but you've got a man. He's Neil Harper. You've got that man there. And he came. They don't want him. He's not a yes man. Correct, Julian? That's the thing. But I think he's such a hero right now because even with the ID cards, Julian and everybody else, he is the voice. When he spoke, then people knew that people like myself, we weren't just talking. You know, that here you had somebody um, who actually is not even against the digital world. He was just saying that there's so many holes in what we're trying to do, and we're not ready for it, which we have clearly seen, right? But he says Stephen Williams, this is the person that they are putting up as their expert. Stephen Williams' defense of the cybercrime bill is a masterclass in why expertise is important, expertise that he clearly lacks. It is also quite revealing about governments' poor decision making with regards to engaging actual experts as opposed to political friends and family. And that's exactly what you're saying. And it is a shame that we would want to do that and to put our our rights and who we are to kind of just trample on them because we want to work, we want our political, we want to involve the yard fowls and the family and the friends, in well, and Mr. This gentleman, we owe him, we owe Neil Harper a debt of gratitude for sticking his neck out. He could have stayed there in Germany and said nothing, right? He could have stayed there in Germany and said nothing, but he stuck his neck out and he decided to speak up. And we in Barbados, Neil Harper, if you're watching this, or somebody could let you know that we are standing with you and we appreciate, as Barbadians, we want to say that we appreciate what you have done. We really appreciate that. And some of the things, when he broke down, Mr. Franklin, the whole the point, the part of the bill where Digicel and it's not Lime anymore. What's it called now?
Floor.
And Flow, Digicel and Flow would have to turn over our devices with everything on it. You understand? Every single thing will be turned over to them on just a suspicion. You believe that, Mr. Franklin? On
No,
just
I no no no. I ain't gonna believe it. I read it. I know it because it's there. The bill. And unfortunately, they they have the courts, the police force, everybody stacked with their people. So, if the people of Barbados do not stand up this time, they can just take their manhood and unzip it and give it to them because that's the end of it. Yeah.
I know you're not joking, right? But
No, because you got to stand up for something. Eventually, you have to stand up for something. And right now, this might be it. I don't know, but
yeah,
this might be it.
yeah,
We need we need people to be independent, have independent thinking, and not what the politicians tell them. Look, only tonight I was speaking to a friend of mine who we went to school together. We've been friends for over 50 years. And we were talking about, he told me he go know because you all go up on your show. So I was telling him politicians have created mendicants. They are making Barbarians as mendicant as possible. Beggars want them to depend on the politician and do not encourage them to speak out or to look out for themselves. If you want something, you go to a politician, and the politician thrive. They thrive on that, and that is what is the undoing of this country. I remember my father. My father had 15 of us, and my father worked at several jobs, making sure his children eat had a few little clothes that we had, and I remember once the welfare officer, man named Aline, asked him about assisting him, and my father cursed him. My father said he don't beg nobody for anything. Of course, no, I wasn't too pleased because I could do with the extra money, you know what I mean? But my father said no, I work for what I want. And my father believed that he should get these children so he should support them, he won't bother with him. But that is not the thinking now. You say, well, I want a politician to help me. I want the politicians, and the politicians encourage it because that is vote buying. As a matter of fact, that's a crime. That is still a crime in Barbados because even it is before, during, or after the election when you give people something to help you to get elected and stuff, or having been elected to pay them, all that is a crime. But they do it nonetheless because I don't know why people would spend so much money to get a job that is not going to pay them as much as they were putting out. They want no way to do it because when they get their hands on the coffers, then they can get as much as they like with kickbacks and all kind of stuff. I am, that's what it's all about. You get in there. I remember in one case, and this went to court, so we can't even make the noise about it. One man gave a politician some money to help him run his campaign. Because he thought he was up and coming politician, and if he win the seat, he will get a ministry, and then he will be able to get contracts. But the man didn't win, so he the fellow that gave the money said, "Look, hey, I want about my money," and when he didn't give it back to him, put him in court. But I don't. You see, the thing is that was giving money in those circumstances was a crime, and receiving money in those circumstances was a crime because they did not declare it. I did not see on the returns to the electoral office where that man put any money in the campaign, and that is required by law. But he thought he could have beat St. Clair and he didn't, and the man put him in court for his money. I believe them. I believe because I know how it works. If others give you some money and then when time comes, you want a contract here, you got some equipment, you get to use your equipment to do government work and that kind of stuff. But when this man can't help him know as he thought he would have been able to do, the man put him in court. I want my money.
Mhm.
This is at the court. So we have to be careful. This country has become so corrupted, and it is corrupt mostly by the politicians. The politicians have this kind of reverse Midas touch. Everything, Midas, everything he touch turn to gold.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Well, every time they touch turn to jobby,
Mhm.
and that is the problem. They're destroying this country, and the people, because they get a little handout here, because of the mendicants that the politicians have created, they
Mhm.
then hitch their wagon to a particular star, and they cannot say to them, "You are wrong," or "I ain't supporting you," because they gotta keep on supporting you because they gotta keep getting a little time. We had politicians walking about handing out money and being photographed handing out money
Mhm.
in the last election, and what happened?
Yeah. But as you said,
Nothing.
when they get into office, then they feel that those people that help them to go in, they have to give them these big jobs and so on, to the detriment of the country. Let me just read something here, Mr. Franklin. And I see Kimar is on. Good night, Kimar. I see Kimar. I know he's probably getting himself settled. And I'm going to ask him to comment on some of this that I'm going to read here. From just reminding people, those of you who've just joined, good night. It's 8:16. Some of you are a little late. You're late for class. They're late for class, Mr. Franklin, but they're here. But let's look at it. And I love the fact, the way Neil Harper breaks it down. Kimar did so in his video, and then Neil comes behind him. It's like a relay, and Neil Harper is breaking it down even further from what Kimar did. Neil Harper says, and this is why we're marching tomorrow. Okay, Neil Harper said the cyber bill gives the courts and law enforcement expansive powers to confiscate persons' devices. Example: your computers, people, your laptops, your tablets, your mobile phones, etc. On spurious grounds. The bill allows law enforcement to force you to give them access to your devices or change you or charge you for not complying. Okay, so listen to that. The bill also allows the courts and law enforcement to force DIGICEL or FLOW to provide all your location data from cell towers. That's what this bill does. Okay? All your internet browsing activity and the metadata about who you call, how often you call them, the length of your conversations. If you did not believe Kimar, believe the true cyber expert who is not part of anybody's political party. Believe him, and a Barbadian, black Barbadian like you and I, who sounded the alarm on the digital ID. This is it, guys. Right? You will they're going to see the length of your conversation, etc., without sufficient legal basis. Remember, Mr. Franklin read it for you and said what? That they just have to be suspicious. And we talked about on the show, Kimar and Mr. Franklin said, how would they be suspicious? Will they be spying on the citizens? Yeah. The bill grants law enforcement the authority to intercept your communications and store this data indefinitely with only the oath of a police officer as a basis for obtaining the warrant. I can tell you, I laud the police officers on this program. At the beginning of it, I told you how they help us at the march. And you, in any organization, you have good and bad. But Mr. Franklin and Kimar, when our movie was given to an official, a government official within the DLP party, and they took our movie and put it on the street. I'm speaking facts because it involved me. And the then Minister of Culture called me 10 o'clock the night and called me to the office the morning to ask me, Mrs. Weeks, what can we do? Are you going to go to the media? What are you going to do? And I didn't know and we tried to sort it out. The police called me later that day, Mr. Franklin, to tell me that they caught the guy who had my movie. The same police had my belongings, my copyright material. You know what happened? When I went into the police station, Kimar, the police had his foot up on the desk. And another one sit down on the side, and they were watching my movie that they took. They did not even recognize when I passed them to go in the room. I could not. As I opened the door, I heard my movie playing in the police office, in the police, the police station. And it is these police that must take our data, Kimar, and confiscate. You think you know how they're going to send you stuff? The possibility of them sending everything on your computer all about? This is a small country. Our privacy. This is so important. The bill also doesn't guarantee sufficient protection of your personal data when police officers keep it indefinitely, allowing for persons to violate your privacy rights, or tamper with evidence before it reaches the courts. We are a small society. And I'm hoping there are officials that are listening. And Kimar, I don't understand why they're not listening to the people of Barbados. Let me read a couple more sentences before you jump in. Neil Harper, and I'm reading this, he's not on the program. I told him I will read it. It can essentially create a surveillance society Huh? This is what they want in this dictatorship, Mr. Franklin.
I'm
They
gonna
in
there.
COVID, they already put up the cameras. On the cameras all across the road. Things are so bad in Barbados. People are living in galvanized house, as Kimar showed us. But they had money to put up security camera all across the world to for surveillance. Brought in people in here tapping our phones. This government tapping people's phones inside of my phone and other people's phones. Yeah, and guess what? What it says? He says it can can you turn off that a little bit? Just show the picture and not the audio. Thank you. It said it can essentially create a surveillance society and an environment for rampant personal data misuse and abuse without the necessary checks and balances and or independent oversight. These, Mr. Neil Harper is saying, Kimar Stewart is saying it, Mr. Franklin is saying it, Rose Corbing is saying it, other Barbadians are saying it. These should be major concerns for every citizen of Barbados. That's why we're marching. That's why we're marching. Good night, Kimar.
Good night, Marcia. How are
Yes,
you?
sir. I am doing good. As I read this, I remember that this is in a nutshell what you sounded the alarm on. It is just now, it's coming from a cyber expert, but Kimar, you sounded the alarm on this and got the nation speaking. You hearing what Mr. Neil Harper, I believe what he has done is broken it down even further. What are your thoughts on what Mr. Harper is saying here?
Yeah. Well, first, good night to Caswell. Good
Good
night
night.
to the members of the loyal opposition. Always happy to be with you yet again on another Friday. It's the start of the Sabbath, so I hope you have a great weekend. Um, Barbados. No, I honestly, we were waiting for Tuesday. That the parliament was held on Tuesday. We were waiting for that Tuesday because the victory from the team's press conference, which caused the government to completely remove that deadline. We were waiting to see what they were going to say. So we were expecting the minister to come to parliament to speak about that, and they did so. However, we were not paying much attention to what they were trying to sneak in along the way, right? So when I turned on the debate, I was watching it and I was listening. I was like, I'm not expecting to hear anything about any cyber building. There's no priority right now. There was no, I mean, it's not a priority right now. There was no need to have this bill on the paper. So I was like, this cyber bill, this sounds so strange. And then it just hit me in the face that a cyber crime bill. Well, who in Barbados really commits cybercrime to that extent? And I remember I said, what? Let me go look into this cybercrime bill. And when I read it, I was like, whoa, this is a bill to attack the Marcia Week show. This is a bill to attack social media bloggers. This is a bill to attack me, right? And this is a bill to attack all of the outspoken people of Barbados and to put the police to do the dirty work for them, right? And I put the video there to warn the people because I realized that there was not much discussion of the parliament, that we were being distracted with the fact that they removed that deadline, right? So we were happy, we were glad. They came, they bragged, they boasted about it. It dominated the headlines, and nothing was in the newspaper about that cybercrime bill. But that was intentional, Marcel, because they don't give us any victories without trying to sneak one in on us, right? But we caught it and we raised the alarm. So when I read what Neil said, I was like, wow. Maybe I should be hired by the cybersecurity committee, right? And he forcefully backed up the points that I raised initially, and those points today are still dominating as it relates to the truth, Marcia, the truth that has been told about what they're trying to do to us, right? So I want to thank Neil. I want to thank the Marcia Show again for keeping this issue in the faces of the people. We cannot let this one die because this is the end of the end, right? And if we allow them to muzzle us by force again, there'll be no more Barbie, there'll be no freedom of speech. Right? What disgusts me about this whole thing, right, Marcia,
Mhm.
is that they are trying to say that we are against uh trying to stop people from putting child porn on the internet, that we are trying to stop people from putting pornographic photos, and we are trying to stop people from uh doing all, but that is not so. We agree that something needs to be done about the way how some people abuse the internet. So there was already Computer Misuse Act which covers defamation of citizens online,
Mhm.
right? So why now, while you are discussing a digital ID and you have very outspoken groups and like the Marcerit Show, who has just scored a major win for the people of this country, you would then try to bring a bill to shut us down and sneak it in try to distract us along the way. But I am glad that we caught it, and that is why tomorrow we're going to have the biggest protest ever in the history of protests in Barbados, sending a firm message to the government that, you know what, back right up, because the same tool that you use to pull down an entire government, you're not trying to kick the ladder down, and you don't want anybody to do to you what they did to people in the other part. And I dare say what they did to Mr. Stewart, the former prime minister, because he was the butt of jokes, memes,
Yeah.
defamatory comments. And when people had to say things, people got up and defended the prime minister because she was a female. So it turned into a whole misogynist debate when people had to respond about issues. No, it is even worse, Marcia, that they are trying to set the police on us, to
Mhm.
surveil us, to spy on us. And what really, really, really warmed my heart is when Neil Harper said, in agreement with my point, that they're now holding a gun to the head of Flo and DIGICEL to say to them that we mandate you to give us the citizens of this country information. Right? That is full dictatorship, Marcia.
It is. Kimar, it is. And when you look at also, Kimar, when you look and you see what has happened to other countries, how the reigning how the government of this country, the current government, how they have used it to basically remove the opposition, remove them from, even they can't even put their names, they have locked up people. And I don't think Barbadians are understanding this. I really hope, let me not say not everybody, when they are finished, the whole idea with this I'm telling you, this leadership is so evil that the plan is to shut up all opposition voices. Myself, Kimar, the various parties, although a lot of them not saying a ping nor a pang, right? But the plan is to shut up everybody. And I don't understand. You have parties where lawyers are part of it, lawyers are leading parties and all that, and not a word from these political parties. I have to say that the DLP is doing something now. And I hope that is something that they continue, because we're watching you all, right? But this is something that everybody, every Barbadian should be involved in this, right? Caswell dropped off. So Kimar, what do you want to say to Adrian is asking if we are sure that a gun is being held to their heads. Are we starting that Flow and Digicel are not on board with the government with this cyber bill?
Well, I don't know for certain that they are, but I did hear Marshall said that they had a meeting previously with Flo. Uh, I can't say necessarily that it was to discuss this specifically, but I don't know what good it's going to do a company or companies that Flo and Digicel to be engaging in that type of trade information with the government. It is not a financial transaction where they will benefit, right? And the levels of trust that people have in technology, Floor and the cell stand to lose big time if this goes through, because part of the reason why people buy Apple iPhone is because of the security features.
Mm-hmm.
The inability of uh, governments and the inability of hackers get into iPhone, right? So for you to then change that type of feature by allowing a backdoor in, it loses its spectacularness. It loses its interest, right? And people stay away from certain types of cell phones because there are nefarious persons out there, including governments, including private contractors, because governments go around the world and hire people and put them in their office to do this type of quiet spying on the citizens, right? So as I said, you don't see the benefit of Flow and Digital having it. And if you cannot guarantee the safety of people's information, just watch the business from Flow and Digital drop to the ground, right? But I think that that is essentially where the government wants to go, because they want to control all telecommunications on the island, and that is what the Prime Minister has the Ministry of Telecommunications in her office, because as I said previously, free government Wi-Fi. The government of Barbados owns every telephone number there is, right? And Flow and Digicel essentially either lease them or rent them. They don't belong to Digicel. The government owns all telephone numbers, including your cell phone number,
Mm-hmm.
right? They own it. And that is
Wow.
why they're trying to push what they call cell phone portability, where you keep the same telephone number your whole life, because they want to attach your telephone number to you like an ID number, right? And these are part of the tactics that countries around the world use to spy on people, right?
Mm-hmm.
To give you what they call a carbon footprint or digital footprint. Because again, in countries like Nazi Germany and the USSR, when there was not much freedom, there wasn't no private companies providing telephone and services. The government did it, and the government controls any and all information outflow, which essentially controls what the people see on TV, what they hear on radio, what they read in newspapers, what they see on billboards and banners around the country, and what information is fed to them in schools, and most of it is structured around government propaganda. And as Caswell said, to be able to keep the government in power as a dictatorship for life, no
Mm-hmm.
democracy.
No. And
My,
it's right in keeping with what is happening. I see Mr. Franklin is having a struggle. I had some challenges technically as well
well,
because
well, the power went off for a little bit, so
oh
I was using my dongle, and
Good night.
I was using the cell phone light to spot on my face. They're not going to stop me. So I was able to come back in, and well,
yes.
eventually it start up again, so I could turn off the cell phone light now.
Okay, so the electricity is back on.
Yeah, but this is happening too often. I find that ever so often the power just going off in the middle of things. Yeah, it's happening too often. I don't understand why our electricity supplies become so unreliable.
Yes, it has. I mean, this is one of the places I would always say you don't, Barbados. That don't happen in Barbados, but now, but I have on the phone right now, gentlemen, Sunshine, and she's one of those young ladies the one who called and said she want to talk to the nice old lady that plants the marshes. And I always get a kick out of that. And so she's online. She's been trying to push on Instagram to get the young people out. Sunshine, good night.
Good night, ma'am. Good night, Gas. Good night, Fadro. Good night, Bobby.
Good
Yes, yeah,
night.
you've been listening to the program, yes,
Yeah, yeah, you too.
yes, and I know you said you've been enjoying it.
Yeah, it's been very, very informative. Thank you. Thank you, Caswell. Thank you, Mark. Thank everybody that come on and spread a positive understanding for people, for the normal public, normal people that ain't gonna be too uppity and airy, but still want to understand what's going on in the government. And
Yes.
right now, the government fracturing.
And so you find that the way the information is presented, the average person can understand it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a very beautiful breakdown for the average person, and also for history, for the history of Barbados. Now, the internet itself and what these people are trying to do, the history, you could go on the internet right now and you can pull up history from 100 years ago, 200 years ago. First electric ambulance was at least 120 years ago in the United States. You know, you can see different stuff. But what you can also see in 100 years from now, you would see this Marshall Cattle Show and these people trying to represent what is them given right, what they believe is right. So this is something that could be pulled back up and it will show a representation of the people standing up for themselves in a time of the now.
Yes, that's it. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Come on, come on. Years from now, it will also show what the government has done digitally. So whatever they do, whatever they implement, 100 years from now, they're saying, we can implement the conform. The name was Beijing. But in 100 years, they can still say, Marshall China was there to pick up for the people and make sure that
No, wait. Don't mix up the names. Sunshine, I am Marcia Weeks. Don't mix me up.
Sorry, Marcia. Sorry, Marcia Weeks. The point I'm trying to make is history is marked with what people is do. And we as a people need to come up tomorrow and stand up and show this government what we are trying to say. We don't want what we're all taking in from other people. Because these bills happen to pass in Canada and Australia and people fight on them also. Other people is not only but I find that in Barbados coming up now, I find that some bills is happen to go off in Barbados, but the main really come from the people of Barbados, and the people of Barbados are not fringing or mixing with what the bills portray. We agreeing to matter is that the government pushing these things and the people not agreeing. The government just going forward and doing these things. No. They put in the legislation bill for integrity. But it's the integrity of them.
Right.
When I put a bill, when I push a bill, I know when I do something wrong, when I can't stand up to the bill when I push. So what is going to happen to if somebody in public that's strong enough and big enough with enough common sense to put one in court and pull one of phones, the government phones out for some change, pull out one of business. So you see, if one of want put bills in place and don't want to do them, but it can't work. It cannot work. They can't put things in place and you don't want it, but what will happen? And you will come out in public, which is going sustain you for the next 100 years, because the next 100 years that gonna be for the people to replay and see what happens.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes. So what? Thank you, Sunshine. So Sunshine, what do you say to? How do you see this affecting young people? Do you think that they care about what's going on with this bill?
Yeah, believe that young people care about what's going on to come up more. I think tomorrow will be a good beginning, because the more we make people aware and we don't stop see you come in and you put it on your show, we're being more aware. And we as a young people, we know the truth. We respect the truth. We respect if you come to me and you say, yeah, this is what's gonna happen, or that is what's gonna happen. And then we could go on and say, well, this is what this body said, this is what that body said. We respect the truth. We respect that we could be talking about and then say, oh, we don't like it that way, or we don't do these things this way. You can't come and stop me from talking. I is a free sovereign being, and the government of Barbados changed me from a sovereign being to a republic being. I am not a republic being. I did not sign on for the republic. For me, because of the government decisions, I know how to pay more money to go to England to work. That's not my decision. I was to come around to and then play and whatever I want. But because of the government decision, now I got to find over $1,500 or so to pay for a work permit to go to England. That makes sense? When the suffering be and they don't want me to go be more and stay when we're doing wrong. When all kind of governments was England and was young when they was saying that word and everybody was saying and making support. Young people will take the government people money when it's time and you can't do talking about just now. But the young people, just because they take the people money, that don't mean that the young people really are fairly and really doing what these people want. If they are going to change on them, let you pressure these young people. Listen, man, last week, somebody sent me something on the internet. It come to WhatsApp. Now, it is a man decapitating his father's head, right? And this is a federal agent in America. And he called for war in a private setting on America and different stuff, right? And also you can see in the world how the farmers in Europe and different places fighting back against Australia, people fighting against the ID card and different prohibitions that the government will place upon them. The Canadians also fighting too. But I think that these government leaders need to step back and get the hearts together and the history together and realize that people on the ground now, individuals, will get really mad. But the women are supposed to be working for us.
Yeah.
And nobody put them there to come and control. We put one of them to spend money collect, law or order, and protect the poor and the people. No, the government contracting the rich people making more money, and the poor people paying taxes. Poor people can't get the money of the government with small contracts and different things. And these are things that we want to talk about. These things that we want more contracts and different things. We want to be able to express ourselves. It's not that when the can't say this or when the can't say that. That is the dictatorship that we, people in dealing with.
Yeah.
As much as we come together and say, come over and give a march, every single time these days that come on, for every single thing that's going on, for the Constitution is even there, and the young man, the gentleman, these things for me coming the last 2 years. These two people, these individuals alone, you black things for us. Things that the government don't want to tell us. When they tell me things, but not only you and these people tell us, even individually in the country. So how things that we individually in the country and we get this, as somebody said, communicate. No, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Things it does. But when you don't put them up to life, it is a problem. This is the things that trying to tell me to all of these children come doing things to all of us, the children.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, so I think some people are everybody is not hearing, so we're gonna have to cut this now. But very interesting and very insightful. I wish you were able to come into the session with us, but at some point. But let me just say, are you coming tomorrow? Are you able to come? I know you're on the hustle, because you're trying to, you have your business and so on. Are you able to come tomorrow? Yes.
Supporting human rights, supporting my big one because I'm also calling on the radio station the people.
Yeah. So you're coming tomorrow. You're coming tomorrow and bring some people with you, okay?
Of course. I wish we are all to bring the constitution. Is a constitution?
Yeah. You want? Yes.
There's a constitution that
yes.
This is not only one of the things. This is not only one of the things that we talking about. But constitution has to be written down properly for us to. I am wishing that Mr. Franklin and his young boy did for us to be properly.
All right. Yes.
Yes. God put your own in for the purpose in these times.
Yes.
This will be registered in your own.
Amen.
Registered in your own energy.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Sunshine. Very well said. Thank you. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Come and hail up the old lady tomorrow, okay? All right. Bye-bye. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I know you weren't here much, but I wanted her to say something. We're trying our best here. And she called me the old lady, and she said the young boy. Kimar, Kimar, let her know you're a young man. I can't hear you. Oh, I don't think he's talking to us. Kimar, we
Right.
can't.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm always happy to hear young people, especially a young female. I feel really proud, and I expect to see Sunshine tomorrow with some friends, placard. Maybe if she can say a few words on the truck, we would appreciate that. More
Yes.
voices to the mission, uh, the better. I may agree with what she's saying in terms of the young people are paying attention, they're aware, and social media is one of the only means of expression. We don't even have expression sometimes in our own households because we grew up in some oppressive households, and people use social media to communicate feelings, emotions. School doesn't really give you a voice, and the one thing that you could empower an entire generation, you want to oppress people. So I fully agree with Sunshine, and I really hope to see her tomorrow out there, protesting against this draconian wickedness.
Yes, yes. Lumumba just came on, Mr. Franklin, and the other night he lit this place on fire, and it's a night before, it's a night before the big day, because tomorrow it's a very unusual day. I tell you, this tomorrow is not like the other marches. Tomorrow there's a whole different thing that's happening out there tomorrow. And I want to welcome Lumumba. Lumumba, what you got to say to your people? Tonight is the last night, before, they said tonight is a funny night. Is that what they said in 1937 riots? They said tonight is a funny night. Tonight is a funny night? No. Today is a something. It was something that was a little, I can't remember the exact saying. Hi, Lumumba. Good night.
Good night. Good night. You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Tomorrow is a big day. What do you want to say to the
Tomorrow,
people?
Tomorrow is a big day. All I got to say is come out, come out, come out. You know understand what I'm saying? It's nothing more. Just come out. We listen. This is Black History. Supposed to be Black History Month. So listen, we making history tomorrow. I can feel it. I can feel the energy. I can feel it in the air. People talking about it. So listen, put your money where your mouth is. You understand what I'm saying? Let's go. It's time for us to stand up and show these people that listen, you just can't dictate to us, and we ain't living in no dictatorship. We not living in a dictatorship. We living in a place where everybody could be treated, whoever they are, with respect. That's where we live. That's the Barbados we are bringing into existence, not the one that they're trying to do, not the one that they're trying to bring into existence. So yeah, Marcy, I'm so excited about tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm going to sleep tonight. On the real side, brother Caswell, brother
Hey,
Caswell,
my
and
brother.
brother Kima. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Caswell. You said something.
So I just said good night, my brother.
Yeah, good night, good night. Yeah, so yeah, I'm amped up. I'm amped up. I'm ready. You understand what I'm saying? I might be
Yeah,
there at 5. I might be there at 5 o'clock in the morning. Never know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know,
Burning spear, burning spear.
Burning Square,
Right.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 o'clock. And listen, I was in town today and I wanted to go down to to say hello, but I said, man, and I'm feeling too good today. And then he might grab me and put me on the show. So I, I, I didn't go down. I didn't go down. I didn't come down to see you today. But Burning Spear, I want to say, I call you Burning Spear now. I want to say, that the energy. There is such an energy on the streets. And
Yeah.
what do you think? How do you think the ancestors are feeling? Ancestor, talk to us. What do you think? How do you think what do you think the ancestors will be
Man,
saying
listen,
tonight?
let me tell you, the ancestors is rejoicing. They are rejoicing. They finally see that their family, they're waking up. And they listen, they're with us. They're gonna be more ancestors out there than people. Trust me. Trust me. You understand what I'm saying? And there's nothing that they could do to stop this energy, to stop the people that want to be free. There's nothing they could do. And we, the people, we, the opposition, the loyal opposition, we intend to be free. That's just it. That is just it. So yeah, come on out, people. Come on out. Don't care. Every 11 parishes from Saint Lucy to Christchurch, wherever we at. Come on out. Come on out. This is it. This is it right here. This is going to send a message to them that they are not the ones who is in control, but we control them.
Yeah, I love, when people talk about, sometimes when people talk about the ancestors, those of the Christian faith, they get a little worried. But we say, Kimar, we say the God of Jacob, the God of Isaac, the God of whomever, and those are ancestors.
That's
So
right. That's
we're
right.
we're honoring, and so when we walk tomorrow, we're honoring Bossa, we're honoring Sarah and Gil and all of those people who
we are,
fought.
we are honoring our mother. We are honoring our we are honoring our father. We are honoring our grandfather, our great grandmother, great grandfather. That's who we are honoring. Because if everybody could honor their own and feel comfortable in honor their own, why should we feel ashamed in honoring the people that without them we would not be here speaking tonight?
Yeah. When we started out tonight, I said, Lumumba, I said, change is not that change is coming. Change is here. And
Change is here.
do you feel that in the atmosphere that change is here?
Sure, it's here. It's here. It's here. It is here. And that's why I said that there's nothing that they can do. They could try to censor, they could try to do whatever they want to do, but they cannot stop the winds of change that's taking place. And Barbados is going to make history tomorrow. We are going to show them, we are going to break the shackles, the shackles that been holding us and been having us fighting against each other, having us tearing down each other. We breaking those shackles tomorrow. So everybody come out. Whether you're Christian, Rasta, Muslim, whatever it is, this is a battle for our life. This is our battle for us to be able to stand up as free men and free women. This have nothing to do with politics. It have nothing to do with religion. We are all Barbadians, and we have to fight to maintain that.
Yeah, Lumumba. I'm as I'm listening to your talk, and I see your the Rastafarian brothers there with you and so on. You're one community that your rights have been suppressed more than any other group, and to be you're the ones that would always talk about freedom and so on. And when you see a bill like this, Lumumba, I mean, what is the Rastafari group saying? I see ISIS, who is a Rastafari ISIS as well. What's the Rastafari community? How are they responding? Because you are so accustomed to fighting oppression. Does this sound like oppression to you?
Well, it does sound like oppression, but let me say this: that as a Rastaman, we fight for the liberation of all people. So you don't have to be Rastafari. You don't have to. You just we fighting for the liberation of all people. So I would say when you're saying Rastafari been oppressed, I don't say that it's just Rastafari that been oppressed, because when you look at the whole thing, it wasn't only Rastafari, it was regular people too that's being oppressed. It's the people that's putting in the work to help make Barbados what it is. Those are the people that's being oppressed. Is the nurses and the doctors and the police and all those people. Those are the people that's being oppressed. We all being oppressed. So it's not just a Rasta thing. It's the thing that those that have, make sure that those that have not stay in their place. And we saying we not staying in our place. We want what you got to.
Hmm. I love how you say. I love how you say we are marching. That the ancestors, will be cheering us on, and I love how you brought ancestors close. It's like our grandparents. Caswell talked tonight about his father who stood
That's
up,
right.
and made him into what he is today. And so when we go out there tomorrow, it's not just Bossa. I love that analogy. It's not
That's
just
right.
Bossa, but it's all of our relatives that they would be like, what? We can't speak, and so I love that analogy. I
That's
really
right.
really love that. Yeah.
Right. Sometimes we think about just the ones that they tell us, like Bussa and all these things. We talk about them, but we don't remember that your mother, if your mother is not here, she's an ancestor. If your father is not here, he's an ancestor. If your grandfather is not here, they're ancestors. So how could we neglect them and honor everybody else, but not neglect the people that brought us here? Right?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm not saying to negate Bussin. I'm not saying to negate the Maroons. I'm not saying to negate what happened in Haiti or anything else. I'm saying that, listen, we have to honor our ancestors. They are the ones that is with us. They are the ones that brought us here. So if they brought us here, obviously they're not going to leave us alone. I understand that Christianity, Islam, all these other religions, they may tell us that honoring our ancestors is something wrong with that. But I understand why they would say that something wrong with that. But when they honor Moses, Abraham, Isaac, all these people, that is honoring ancestors. So why can't we honor our own? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying
Yeah.
don't honor them. I'm saying why can't we honor our own? And we
Mhm.
are honoring our own. They're out tomorrow. Come on out from 10 till 12. We from Massy Car Park to Independence Square. We gonna come out and show these people that, listen, the sleeping giant has awakened. The
Yes.
sleeping
Yes.
giant has awakened.
Yes. Mr. Franklin, Mr. Franklin always talk about his mother, and he would give me these stories. I always remember them. Well, after you'd say you go to your mom after work, and you would talk to her, and she warned you about this administration, about taking a job and all of that. And you spoke about your father tonight, and I'm thinking, what do you think if they were alive? What would they be saying about this cyber bill, Mr. Franklin? They're your ancestors.
My father wouldn't be saying anything, but my mother would be up in arms. My mother was the one. They said that I take after her more than anybody else in the family, But my mother didn't stand for foolishness, If she disagreed, sometimes she used to call me. I would be on the calling program, and as soon as I put down, I look and I hear the phone ring, and I look and I see it was her number on the thing. I said, "Oh," I says, "I'm wrong," and she would let me have it, so she didn't stand for anything. So I can tell you, if she were here and 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 she understood about internet and stuff, so I can tell you she would be speaking up against it. My father was kept to the politics and everything else. My father was too busy working. Because when you got 15 children, you don't got time for politics.
Yeah.
you know.
The thing is that people in those days, they saw this, Kimar as politics. These kinds of things. People even, there are some people who say, why are you involving yourself in politics and not realizing that it is life? Is Kimar stuck?
No,
Oh,
currently eating with it.
okay, right. I thought he was stuck. No, Kimar, I was saying how some people believe that they shouldn't involve themselves in stuff like this because it's politics. As Caswell was saying that his father would say this is, probably he would say it's politics and he wasn't getting involved. What do you say to people who see it that way?
Well, politics is life. However,
Yes, the audio.
sorry, politics is life. However, political partisanship is not life. There's politics in everything we do all day, every day. Um, so there's nothing you can do to get away from it. Well, I understand how people are repelled by politicians and political commentators because they feel like sometimes you may just be doing it for the politics. We're intelligent people. Um, People are not as they were before, where they would take wholesale what a person on the platform is saying. There's the internet that they're trying to censor, that you can go and fact check anything and anybody. That's the power of social media, right? But that is the lesson that some in authority would have learned, that they are still lying. They would tell a lie today on camera, come back and tell another lie tomorrow on camera, and then change that lie the next day because it shows the inherent nature of who they are on the
Hold a minute,
inside.
hold a minute, hold a minute. Sorry, I'm disturbing you. Mr. Franklin, you saw your WhatsApp? I tell you tomorrow is a big day. Check your WhatsApp. Oh my goodness. I'm sending this to you now, Caswell. Mr. Franklin and Kimar. And the person who is sending it to me is very reputable. What you tell me say now? You're not gonna make me talk Jamaican tonight. Kimar, check your phone. What is now? A page Jamaica will come out of me. I'm telling you tomorrow. Lord help me, Father. You see, you check your phone?
Well, I was just watching it on Facebook. I was
Kimar.
alerted to it. I was alerted to it just now by Kimar,
Wait,
and so
Kimar, you start. Kimar, you coming like Kimar, see everything first. Wait,
Well,
Kimar, because make me read it on the show. We don't know if it is true, but I'm gonna read what Starcom says.
yeah.
Um, I heard this is from a reputable source, and I trust this person. That Stetson Bob just posted on Facebook. That person should stand by for breaking political news, and that there is never a dull moment in politics. Have you heard anything along such lines? That's what it says, and that there's a possibility of some crossing of the floor. Let me tell you something, folks. Come out tomorrow. We gonna tread down Babylon. We gonna tread because this opposition, I tell you all, tomorrow is a different thing. This opposition is growing. You hear me tell you? And I don't business which party. You get me? You understand me? That's where I stand. We have to form this 280 or 60, how much of us? Huh? Listen to me. Bring out the drums tomorrow. I want some Congo drums on the road. Rastas come beat them drums tomorrow. We need the Congo drums. And the next time we have anything, Mr. Franklin, you need to be a motorcade. You hear? You see how we have the one truck? We have one truck, right? Listen, they're making me start talk Jamaica now because me tell you, say, Mr. Franklin, what are your thoughts about this? You know,
I,
I go and chat up the whole place now.
you know, I am a bit reserved. I wait for the actual thing. I don't, um, even though if it's true, I'm happy, but I would want to hear it confirmed. I've seen two sets of rumors to that effect, and I expect something to happen along those lines. But until such time as I have confirmation, I am going to remain reserved. And if the it turns out to be true and these people have actually done what is being alleged, I'm going to be very proud of them, and I will tell them that.
Yes, I would be as well. I would be, and I'm telling you, I tell you prayer. Um, and let me tell you, prayer changes things. And I know my guy, oops, my friend don't like me to say those kinds of things, but you know what I mean. But listen, Kimar, you know some people. Kimar, can you check on this here for us? Mr. Franklin, you know some people. You see how they were down in their phone? Say no, Mr. Franklin down in his phone so tonight. Listen, Lumumba, Lord of Lumumba, I left Lumumba run gone.
I'm here.
Listen, Lumumba, let me tell you, you sent me a message and you said, Marcia, the next one should be uh um your next one should be we call it now with the cars. I just said it. We call it again. Motorcade. Because Kimar and Mr. Franklin not listening to us right now, you know.
No,
Them
I'm listening to every word,
I
but
know you.
I am checking also other rumors that I am seeing in addition to what you've sent and what Kimar sent. I'm getting others, so I am feeling a bit, uh, you know, um, like woozy. If that is truly the case.
Yeah, let me tell you something. That would confirm, I tell you, tomorrow is a different thing. You know, folks, let me say something. The only thing that can help us right now is unity. You understand me? Only unity can help us now. Why I say that, Kimar, we're going to have to find what we have in common. That's what Mr. Franklin said tonight. That's why I tell you, I rate Mr. Franklin. I respect him a lot. Mr. Franklin says our what we have in common is a dictator. We want to make sure that we don't live under a dictatorship. That's what we have in common. We might come in all different faiths, different some people are different parties and so on. Right now, could we just please, if we could just please get rid of all of that stuff, get rid of the party stuff. You understand? People now are going to say, so which, if they cross the floor, which party is going to be? And so, don't worry about that right now. Please. That is the partisan politics that Kimar was talking about. I don't care about it. That's why I say I can support the DLP with the blackout. As soon as I'm able to black out my thing after this March, I'm gonna black out for a couple days or whenever they're doing it. I don't know when it is. Right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is we're gonna find what we have in common. Right? And I know that Kimar and Ting, they are working very, very hard now. Dave, can you play our March song? Because these two, everybody engaged somewhere else. So I could see their little minds going at this point. So go ahead, Dave. Play the March song. Nobody not listen to me. Nobody listening.
No, no, we are listening to you. Trust me, I am listening to you. I
I know something wrong, I know something wrong.
Let we march, let we march, let we march. Barbados!
Time for people get up and make a organize.
Time to wake
Now
up.
them come from country and town. Kick down Jericho wall.
Opposition fall in line.
Politicians run and ball. One by one, brick by brick, they crumble and fall. At the voice of the Almighty, and the trumpet call. Lies and corruption, and this administration. Lies and corruption, beer abomination. Lies and corruption, poverty and frustration. Lies and corruption, mashing up the nation. Lies and corruption, and this administration. Lies and corruption, beer abomination. Lies and corruption, poverty and frustration. Lies and corruption, mashing up the nation. Vaccines can't left in memory. Trade and tidy won't be mandatory. Pin it, change them out on the elderly. Make me vote, they treat you like enemy.
Let we march, let we march, let we march. Let we march, let we march, let we march. Barbados!
Time for people get up and make a organize.
Time to wake
Now
up.
them come from country and town. Kick down Jericho wall.
Opposition fall in line.
Politicians run and ball. One by one, brick by brick, they crumble and fall. At the voice of the Almighty, and the trumpet call. Lies and corruption, and this administration. Lies and corruption, beer abomination. Lies and corruption, poverty and frustration. Lies and corruption, mashing up the nation. Lies and corruption, and this administration. Lies and corruption, beer abomination. Lies and corruption, poverty and frustration. Lies and corruption, mashing up the nation. Vaccines can't left in memory. Trade and tidy won't be mandatory. Pin it, change them out on the elderly. Make me vote, they treat you like enemy.
Let we march, let we march, let we march.
Yes, let we march, let we march, let we march. Yes, man. Yes,
Ma-
man. Yes, man. Yes,
I,
man. Yes, man.
I was doing some checking also, to check my sources as well, and I understand that there are about 5 of them now, and
Wow.
I will WhatsApp you the name of the 5th that I've just heard.
Yes. Is there anybody near that start with a D?
No, I can WhatsApp you right now.
Opposition, fall in line. Oh my lordy, Kimar, how you so serious? Well, Kimar, what are you doing? What are you doing there, Kimar? Kimar, what's going on there, man? Kimar is a little troublemaker,
Hey, I don't have any comment to make at this time. I think it's best to avoid being charged $70,000 or 7 years in jail. That I keep my opinion.
Listen, we can talk all we want. Talk no, effect. Anything we want, say. Today, a little whistleblower called me. I said to myself, I better get him on early. Quick.
Kimar, I just said the name I just heard too.
Yes.
Let me see it. Let me see it. Listen, tomorrow, everybody come out. This, somebody write, please tell me the 5th name already. Give me a break, people. We are rejoicing tonight if this happens. And Mr. Franklin, I don't say nothing. We are telling me say, woo! Oh, what? What you say? Listen to me. Listen, folks, we are rejoicing. Kimar, Lumumba, Mr. Franklin. It's almost 7 months. 7 months that we have been pushing this and we've been going on the streets. Don't you think that this has strengthened those people? don't you think this has well this what we're doing would have strengthened those people?
I am hoping so. You know, it's not these people. Somebody it had to give. You know, look, Kadir, these people were subjected and treated like little children, abused and shouted at and all kind of stuff. And grown people who in possession of any gonads would not tolerate that type of behavior. You know, sometimes money, you know, is not all. You know, because you can be getting a lot of money and next you know you keel over because all the stress that you're going through, and or you get a stroke or something, and then all the money that you were getting, you know, you stay. So people have to make their decisions, and I am hopeful what I'm hearing is true, and if they are true, I'm very proud of them. I I can't award them any companion on a Barbados or whatever it is, but whatever I trust me when I tell you that I they will have my support.
Yeah. You know, yeah, somebody said they hope it's not just a rumor. Well, you know, we will hope not. Regardless, we're going to still have our march. But I believe, I know, not that I believe, but I know that this activism, what Lumumba and Bongo Lights have been doing, what the Burning Spear, what Fred Corbin and all these people, I can't remember every name now. Help me with all the names what they have been doing. They have been knocking and knocking and knocking. And if this happens, what has happened is that the opposition is growing. Because remember what we always said the opposition is made up of Barbadians, right? And so it means that it is growing. That's what it means. That's what it means. And my thing right now, it's about that. What somebody said, you know, I said we are what we have in common is that we don't want to sit under a dictatorship. But you know, Lumumba, VI corrected me and she says what we have in common is our love for Barbados. I think that that is better, you know, and it is true. It is true. It is our love for Barbados. I remember, getting all nostalgic here when you guys surprised me and gave me an award. You know, Mr. Franklin doesn't know about this. Neither Kimar. They invited me down to Bunga Lights one evening, and they surprised me and gave me an award. And Mr. Franklin, I've gotten awards from different places, you know, different countries and so on for the films, blah 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 blah. Don't need to go into that now. But this was the first award that I got that I cried. I cried and I felt a little embarrassed crying in front of people. They totally surprised me, Kimar. So I remember when Kimar was crying at this party. Kimar is a man, but he was crying um, at the party. I felt it because, and I know how it felt because I cried. And why I cried, Mr. Franklin, when I started, they said to me, Marcia, why do you do it? Because at that time I was, you know, on my program and I was calling out the government and about different things. And they say, why you do it? And I started crying, Mr. Franklin, and I said, it's because there's no opposition. I said, I feel a calling that I must be the opposition. I must speak for the people. You remember Lumumba? I can't remember the year that I got it. Was 2021 or what?
It was, I think it was 2021. We start, yeah,
Yes.
around 2021, yeah.
And the newspaper the other day, you know, they had that little thing in there, give that kind of tongue in cheek, calling me most controversial, and then said, you know, about the people, um, voice of the people. But I had an award sitting on my table here from Bongo Lights and from Lumumba and Emmanuel and all the so many people were there, and it said voice of the people too. So I wasn't phased by that, you know. And they and the point I'm making is it's a love for Barbados that overcame my heart, and that
That's
is
right.
in Caswell's heart, and that is in Lumumba's heart and Kimar's heart and Miss McLean. and everybody, and that's why we say that our ancestors, our mothers and our fathers, and those who fought for this country would be very, very pleased, right?
That's right.
Kimar, you're too quiet, You're too quiet, Kimar. I want one, Kimar. Tell me,
That smirk on his face, Marcia.
Kimar, Kimar, Wagwan, Kimar. Wagwan, popcorn. Wagwan, popcorn. You see, y'all, let me start to talk Jamaica now. When I get excited or if I get angry, I go right into Jamaica. Wagwan, popcorn. Tell me now, Kimar, Wagwan.
Well, um, like I said, I rather before comment until tomorrow. Um, at this point, I just don't know what to say. Um, I just hear rumors, but like I said, I rather not at this point comment. Um, let's let somebody have his moment in time. He was the person who put it out on social media that there's some interesting developments happening. So we, as opposed to speculating, don't mind if what I'm hearing is true. I mean, I feel like getting an early Christmas, right? I want to bring out the champagne and the cake, and let's go have a party. Don't praise if this is true, but like I said, let us wait and see um what is happening. I mean, it's supposed to be an exciting turn of events. But you were saying something earlier that I love, and that the show, Marcia Weeks and Caswell Franklin, Lumumba, Pastor Ferdinand, we're saying Rose, Bongo Lights, all of us, the energy that we brought to the space is ricocheting all around Barbados. So much so, Marcia, and you keep saying that they watch this show, right? And they watch the show and draw inspiration and strength from the show, right? So I am glad that some could feel powerful enough to stand up against tyrannical leadership, to take a stand and say enough is enough. But like I said, on this Sabbath day, as I started, let us give thanks to the Lord, because tomorrow, Saturday, we'll be on the road and we're asking for protection on that Sabbath day. I mean, see, my phone will start going off. Uh, we're asking for protection on that Sabbath day tomorrow. And before we get in, we're celebrating with a big, 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 big march that's going to block the entire Bridgetown. We should really give the Lord praise and thanks for all that we've done, the strength that He has given us to bring us this far. Some groups are motivated by us, but they want to act like they don't see us, but still copy us. But still, it's all love. We still accept, right? We understand. We understand how it goes, but this is a mission inspired by the force that is bigger than all of us, a righteous force, a truthful force. And for that very reason, I take my hats off to you, Marcia, to Dave, to everybody on the show for bringing the loyal opposition. I remember watching the Marcia Week show on Facebook sometimes with 15 viewers, 20 viewers. So I just want to give thanks to the Lord for inspiring you to continue. That now the Marcia Week show is getting 7, 800, 9, 1,000 persons a night, right? So give thanks first and celebrations after. If there's something to celebrate, but let's hope there is something to celebrate.
Marcia, he said but we had 15 people and thing, but no, we have on YouTube alone we have 739 watching at this point in time. So what I will do now is to answer the question from. I'm excited, but I'm still remembering what I'm here to do. Tyrone Nurse asks a question: can we use the law to demand transparency from them, meaning from the government? Unfortunately, no. The this administration been in opposition. They promised Freedom of Information Act and whistleblower legislation. There is no general whistleblower legislation in Barbados right now. There is some aspect of it in the public service, but you are supposed to put this is piece of legislation that was passed in 2007, where it requires you to follow the guidelines set out by your ministry or department. And so far, no ministry or department has published guidelines yet. And this is 2007. I'm talking about the legislation that was on the book since 2007. And I know of one man, I call him a wise man, who attempted to whistleblow in the public service. He was acting as a marshal one. And when he reported the behavior of his boss for perjury and lying on an affidavit, because they were trying to get somebody to the court, and the boss says the man can't be found, but another marshal went and find him. He swore that affidavit, and when he complained, Wiseman got taken down. He was the only person in the department at that time with the necessary qualifications for the post. And they took him down and put a fella who wasn't qualified and who had actually stolen some money, and they were asking him to pay it back. So when they give him the acting allowance, he used the acting allowance to pay back the money he stole. This happened in the court process office a number of years ago. And the fella, I said, is a wise man. He's actually a wise man. He tried, and he got punished for it. So a public servant said, but knowing Wiseman's case, will be wary of it. But then there is no freedom of information legislation that they promise, because in Trinidad, for instance, you could demand them to disclose certain things. We can beg and we can beseech, but we don't have a right as yet, a right that they promised that we would have gotten. We ain't get it yet.
Yeah.
But no, that was good talk for the campaign, But I always tell you, don't mind nigger mouth, bros. Mind the action.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Franklin. Miss Corbin, Mrs. Corbin, I am so sorry. We got excited and didn't see you there. Good night, madam. Good night. Good night. And you're going to definitely bring us right back on track, because tomorrow is an amazing day. Tomorrow is a very, very special day in Barbados. There is a turning that is happening. We're here saying change is not coming, change is here. And so, Mrs. Corbin, we're very happy to have you to continue sharing on what you had presented. And then after you're finished, then we will have a discussion with all of us on what you've said. So go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Marcia. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
And good night to you. Good night to dear brother Caswell and my son Kimar. He's one of my sons. And to Mbamba, to all those of you on Facebook, YouTube, those of you who have chosen to be with us tonight. I don't know what the excitement is about, Marcia, but I am getting something across the airwaves, and I am feeling the excitement, and I am feeling the spirit of my grandmother, who I kept seeing, that is one of my heroes, that woman who was shot at in 1937, stealing potato pickings for her 3 hungry children. And my grandmother held on to the crocus bag on her head, and she rolled and tumbled down the terrain of the Mount Plantation while she was being shot at. She was determined not to let that bag of pickings be taken from her. She risked her life. And that runs through my veins tonight, stronger than before, because we are on the verge of something good. I am at loss for the adjective, but there's a turnaround. I feel it in the atmosphere. There's a turnaround. And this turnaround isn't just for ourselves, but it's for every Barbadian citizen, those who are aware, those who are unaware, those who are present, those who are to come. We are in the present determining the future that is being compromised right now politically in this present day. And I am so glad for this opportunity to share and, in a sense, pick up from last week. As you know, Marcy, I told you that we had mechanical problems and we were on the road from mid-afternoon and only got back in not too long ago. So I've not had a chance to continue the research that I had begun.
That's okay.
But I've got enough to share. And I was listening to what went before Kimar. I'm hearing the heart of the young person, Kimar. And we did not compare notes. But from Wednesday, I've been talking about who do we consider to be the most vulnerable in this recent development with this computer misuse, not computer misuse,
cyber bill.
Cyber crime bill.
Yeah.
And I went through the list. And yes, as I said briefly on Wednesday, that it's not about only the Christian group being muzzled and the concerns there. It is not about ourselves being muzzled. It's about every citizen. I do hope that those who engage in partisan politics, and I am thinking now about those who have their tickets to the right church party, who belong to the BLP. I hope they are aware that this is affecting them too, and it will affect them. It's not only about Marcia Richo. It's not only about Kimar. It's not only about Caswell Franklin or those of us who participate here. I hope that the BLP partisan members and followers will realize that they will be affected by this. And their mouths will also be muzzled, thank God, because I endured some we wouldn't call it cyber bullying, but I listened to during the last election, and I listened, unlike most people, I listened to all discussions that pertain to issues in Barbados, whether I am for or against. I listen to the Senate, I listen to the House of Parliament, and I hope you notice when you look at the videos of the Lower House, you scarcely see representation there. But last election, there was some behavior I saw on one of the BLP platforms, and I made a comment. Unacceptable. And one of my good friends, who is a BLP supporter, chose on that medium to start pulling me down and chastising me. I hope that they know that do it again, I can cry foul under the Cyberbullying Act. Do you follow me, Marcia?
Yes, I follow you. Yeah.
So they feel that let this administration do as they like, they will be muzzled also. And it will be a good thing too, because they won't have the multitude to oppress the minority through their platform. So if the BLP members and the BLP followers and the BLP loyalists feel that they are immune from this, stay there. Stay in that area of folly, that what is being done for the good of the country, and their party is doing it, so it's all right. You too will be affected by this. So I said it is not only the ones out there, and I pick up this paper. I don't know if you could say it, Marcia, but it is Wednesday's paper, Midweek Nation, the report on Parliament, and it says, Hinkson warns young women. Give me a moment. I am going to make sure that I turn on my cell phone camera so I can read it properly. And I smile at this to say, that is all you can add to this serious debate. Warning young women, there's nothing wrong in the warning, but it's deeper than this particular perspective. And in it, he is warning young women not to send out nude pictures. Good grief. Isn't there greater debt to this than that? Warning young women not to
shallow
nude pictures, that it could be costly for the rest of their lives. What is more costly than the entire bill that they have brought to us, sneaked, the English would say snuck it through the back door, brought it upon us, and now debating this important nation-changing bill that would impact on the citizens of this country. There are what he and I believe the nation to do responsible journalism. So I'm quoting them. He is warning young women not to send out new pictures, that it could be costly for the rest of their lives. And then within there, the nation quotes him as saying that the Constitution speaks to freedom of expression, but that it is subject to laws, as a person did not have the right to destroy another's reputation or impinge on their privacy by saying things without regard as to whether they were true or not. I can't disagree with that. But you know what riled me? When in courts, and again, I say, I believe the nation does responsible coverage. In courts, it is attributed to Hinkson the following: these know it all, that walking about Barbados on calling programs and social media, including the opposing, and saying freedom of speech. I take her, I won't say offense, I feel disrespected. And I don't know how those of you there, the only know it all that seem to exist in Barbados are those 30 persons within the lower chambers. And I'm saying too guardedly, because I will not attribute it to all 30, because I don't feel that all 30 of them are as arrogant as this person who was speaking and to whom this article is focused on. I believe there are less arrogant, more sensitive persons within the lower chamber. I speak of persons who I think have a conscience, like MP Sonia Brown and others I have heard.
Yes.
But they seem to think that the brains and the intellect and intellectual reasoning and intelligent reasoning reside only among a few of them, including this gentleman.
Yeah.
Therefore, he is calling persons like ourselves these know-it-all. That it is insulting to us. These know-it-all that walking about Barbados on calling program and social media. So you're going to stifle the so-called know-it-all that walking about Barbados. You hear the disparaging
Yes.
inference in that statement. And then he is talking, went on to say, quoted again by the nation. You want to tell me a reasoner Barbados want to tell this parliament that should not be subjected, that persons should not be subjected to the criminal justice system. So if we...
Somebody's asking us who you are talking about.
Huh?
Who you are talking about? They weren't.
These comments are attributed to the Member of Parliament for St. James North, Edmund Hinkson.
Hinkson, right.
In his contribution to the debate in the lower house on the Cybercrime Bill 2023 and the Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matter Amendment Bill 2023. And according to the nation, and I am saying, please listen carefully, I assume and I have respected the nation as a media house that demonstrates fair journalism and accuracy. I am quoting from them. And the person who wrote the article says Hinkson also brushed aside the critics of the legislation. These are the people who went out in their numbers in 2018. Almost 75% of the electorate in 2018. And others followed in the last election and they voted for you. And now they have a voice because within these numbers that Mr. Caswell told us are on YouTube now, I believe many of you went out and voted for the BLP. Now they are brushing aside any voice that is raising, no, this is not right. No, this is what this particular bill seeks to do to the citizens of Barbados. And all you could do is get up in the House of Assembly where you have been elected, not once, not twice, but before in the House of Parliament, and brushing aside, according to the article, the critics by calling us these know-it-all that walking about Barbados. I was privileged and proud to receive free secondary education from 1967. And that education has put me in a position to think clearly, to think analytically, to read, to understand, and to seek the opinions and advice on others when it's not clear. You out there who are listening, this is how you are seen as know-it-alls. So we ain't got no brain. You better get up and show some representation tomorrow. This does not only affect shows like this one that we are in attendance now. It does not only affect, as I say, the church group that might say we might be muzzled, but it affects all of us, the BLP, the DLP, every group, every sector in Barbados. And I am speaking now to the youth. These are the same young people who are warning the young women to don't take new picture. Massy is more than taking new picture. And let me tell you what I was thinking on since I have been reading about this bill. There is a particular target group that is being overlooked, and Kimar keeps pointing to it, the youth. These are the youth who were introduced in the early 1990s to EduTech 2000. These are the ones who have become techno savvy. These are the 30+ age group. These are the ones who whip out the cell phone and take pictures. They are now in their 30s. They take out their picture and their cell phones, and they will take picture of the most awkward, embarrassing, and scene. These are the ones that will click that button and make it viral. Not you, not me, not the older person. I am talking about that 40 and younger age group. I am talking about those children who might sneak into a classroom and have a little sexual activity, and their peers see them and capture them on video. It is more than having young women having sex. And I do not like that gender bias perspective, as if only young women are lawless in the activity. What about the male who engages and take the picture too? So if you're talking to the young women, talk to the young men also. And these are, I am thinking about that school-age child who innocently, who is unaware, Massy and Caswell and Kimar listeners, about this particular bill, about the prohibited conduct categories. They're not aware of it, and they have the high-tech cell phone, and they will pick up that cell phone and record and circulate. And you know what happens? Who will they be coming for? When they come for that minor, that under 18 child, whose door will they be knocking down? The mother, the grandmother, the guardian, the caregiver, all of us will be at risk. So suppose I had a school-age child, a teenager in my home, who, as the patient said, unbeknownst to me, carried school-age cell phone and took a picture of someone in a compromising position, hit the button, and it goes viral. There is a complaint lodged. It is traced back to that youth living in my house.
Mm-hmm.
I will be implicated. Therefore, I cannot say, as I prefaced last Wednesday, when I read the list, that you sit and shake your heads and say, me, I don't do that, I don't do that. You are implicated in whatever form or fashion. We cannot say it is not about us. And when we have members of parliament at the highest level, and this is the same kind of aside and brush away that this same MP made when it came to the Samoa Treaty, when it came to the Child Protection Act and bill. They're brushing aside and they're calling us know-it-all. Well, I am a know-it-all then. I am one that will speak out and become what the know-it-all. I would be an unreasonable Barbadian who can't understand, who can't buy in, who won't buy in, who oppose the government on grounds like we're seeing. Think again about this. Don't hasten to satisfy the external colonizers. You are talking in edutech reform to decolonize education. But you are still coming now to satisfy the UN treaty, every treaty that comes up, every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You external to Barbados, you're seeking to satisfy, but when the Barbadian public, some of whom voted for you, say no, we are know-it-all, we are irritants, and you stand on the privilege of the House of Parliament to speak to us in that matter, in that manner. And the cyber crime bill still in progress. This is not fair, Marcia. This is not fair, speakers. And all you could get into the House and argue a big headline, Hinkson warns young women. Why didn't you get out there? The MPs had a responsibility. Those that you went out and voted for in your constituencies, even if you didn't vote for them, they had a responsibility to alert the Barbadian public about this particular bill. Mm-hmm. Even if it him and her with the ID cards, even if you him and her and dropping the ball with education reform, you know what I mean, education reform. Mm-hmm. Even if there are other issues to him and her about the quality of water, and they say we ain't get it right. But you, and even though you hinted at being treasonous, I heard it. Nobody didn't tell me. I heard it myself on live. I heard it. And you are seeing these things. You're using the privilege of your partisan platform, or you're using the privilege of the House of Parliament, and you don't use the opportunity. Tell me how many of those 30 elected persons went to called a what you call it meeting, what is it called, a constituency meeting?
A constituency meeting.
How many of you, when you went to those constituency meetings, educated your constituents and said, this is going to happen? What do you think? But you spent a constituency meeting to say, you're going to drop a lawsuit on their tails. People out there, if you are not listening, I don't know what else to say. If you do not act, I made a list here. All Barbadians are affected by this. All parties, partisan parties, BLP, DLP, whatever party, you are affected by this. All religious groups are affected by it. So you cannot get away. If a Muslim feels offended by something a Christian a congregation or Christian speakers says, they can, and it goes viral. A device is used to communicate it. It can be brought under that group could be. Similarly, if we Christians say anything about another religious group, it can happen. Similarly, I am not leaving out the lettered people, the LGBTQ. They will be affected in here. Although we do know that they have used the social media to push back on us. And we clearly know to one of them One of them that was dismissed from a popular radio show. We do know that. We do know the insulting comments that were made. So if that particular group feels, and the individuals like that person and that personality feels that you feel that they are immune from this, they are not. And just because it's your party that bring it in, and you're a strong supporter and a voice for your party, you're not immune because you come under the same law that is being imposed.
Yeah.
I also have here FBOs, faith-based organizations, whether you're Rastafarian or any other religious group, faith-based. I'm talking about the seniors. Suppose some young body, I'm not techno savvy. I remember that I had one of the latest Samsungs that I bought in Nicaragua in 2018. Brought it home, I had it in a box. My son came to me, techno savvy person, and said, "Mommy, you got a heavy phone here, man. This too heavy for you, man. Let me swap. Give me that one." No, I tell you, put it down. I be laugh. I said, put it down. You grudge for mine. They taught you not to cuff it, not to grudge, and be kicks about it. He did show me how to use it. But you know how they show you? They snatch it out your hand, Caswell, hit the buttons fast and tell you, so you're still in learning. Anyhow, suppose there is someone in the house, myself. I have my cell phone and
And Rose, we have literally 1 minute left. 1 minute.
Yes, one younger person comes into my house, take up my cell phone, and send off a message unknown to me. I am a senior. Who will be affected? Whose cell phone it is? My cell phone. I'm a senior. I ain't know what's going on, but it's my device. So seniors, you are affected. Youth groups, and let me come to this. I'm talking to the youth. Will somebody, I talk to young people. I use every opportunity to talk to them. I seem to have a way to get through. But the young people, that vulnerable group, those at school, the school age group, and I'm talking about the ones at secondary school who can be reckless and impulsive and not necessarily given to thought or thinking it through, just for the moment, just for popularity, just to be part of the group. That school age group, and even up to the 31s, the one on the minibuses, the one in the bus stand, the boys on the block, the girls on the block. Those young people are out there, go there and ask them, are you aware of this? They're not, but they are the ones that will be implicated. These are the ones that jump up behind the truck and dance at every Ricky concert. And you know what I mean. Every Ricky flag waving concert that they're promoted as part of their campaign. And they wind up, and these are the ones that got the $100 and the white shirts. We are there for it. These are the same young people that they have left out in the cold, and they have not chosen to sit and engage them and tell them this is what this is about. But no, you can use this privilege after the fact to get the House of Assembly and bring such shallow debate, such shallow contribution, and telling young girls, be careful, don't take a new picture because it will come back to haunt them and it could turn up at the workplace. What about the young boy that taking the picture too? That is very gender biased too.
Yes.
This is how they think and they act.
Yeah.
I want you, Marcia, and I belonged in the 1990s to a group called the Barbados Popular Theatre Organization. and similarly to a wider umbrella called the ECPTO, the Eastern Caribbean Popular Theatre Organization. And what we would do here in Barbados, and I facilitated workshops in Dominica and in St. Lucia particularly, and attended workshops in St. Vincent through the Eastern Caribbean. And what we did was to use popular theater to address issues such as violence, abuse, gender issues. I am seeing that, Marcia, you have a collective there amongst your theater youth. If we collectively could work with you and these young people to do popular theater on this particular Trident ID card, that would not have had that impact on them. But this is going to affect all, and I'm concerned about the uninformed youth. They deserve more than cleaning up for the ashfall, the volcanic ashfall. They deserve more than cleaning up the waysides.
Yeah.
Our young people need to be educated on their future that is being determined recklessly here now in the present, and sneaking through in this way. And then we have the lawmakers in this country in the House of Parliament saying it is okay. It is not okay. Therefore, I am saying, Marcia, tomorrow morning, we have to move early. My husband and I, we had a previous engagement. He's going to it. I will be free. I'm going to set some people to work, and if I'm not there for 10 o'clock, I will join at a point. I am going to massage my knees with olive oil, with Canadian healing oil, with all kinds of things. I'm going to massage them tonight. I'm going to get myself ready. And I'm every person who can, get out there. Get out there and say, this is enough, that we constitute the know-it-all Barbadians, and we constitute the group called the irritants, and we constitute the group that are deemed not reasonable.
Yeah. Well, you know, tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow is a big day, and you know, I'm sorry you came on so late. I didn't see you there. Sorry about that, but I think you got a whole lot across, and we bringing different perspectives. Somebody said you spoke for the elderly tonight, and even about rubbing the knees and getting ready. And we have a van that is going to be there for those that are having challenges. But knowing you, I know you want to walk. Kimar, we're closing out. We're closing out, and it's 10:04. We want people to go to their bed.
I beg your pardon?
Wait a minute. The poster says no meeting. Is that correct? Yes, I said there is no meeting in the square because it does cost a bit more money to hold the meeting there. And you probably weren't here, but we went through a lot of that discussion. So it's important for you to join the march itself. The speaking happens as we march. All right? Because it does cost more. We would have to plan for that, but we were spending out too much money on that. All right. So we figured we found a way, a more cost-effective way where we speak as we are driving. All right. So yes, sorry you had asked that question earlier. If we're going to be speaking in Independence Square. Thank you. We start at 10. I say to people arrive at 9:30 so we can organize ourselves and, you know, go down the road in decency and in order. Kimar.
Thank you, Marcia.
You're most
and good
welcome.
Night, everyone.
You're most welcome. It was powerful. Very, very powerful. Kimar, last words there, my brother. It seems as though that thing was a rumor. I'm hearing that it might be a rumor. So we don't know, but so somebody saying the show is too short. But we were happy, even if it's for a short time. But we are the opposition. We keep pushing. But Kimar, go ahead, sir. What do you want to say to the people?
Yeah, well, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Um, some things are just distractions, as it may be. I don't think we should lose focus at this point. And as I said earlier, we always give thanks before we run up to celebrate. And give thanks, and giving thanks is what we do. And tomorrow, um, I look forward to seeing everybody at the march. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to share on WhatsApp. Well, you can still share on WhatsApp. uh, let us all come out and march tomorrow in a very huge demonstration to bring a point to the authorities who are bringing this bill to let them know directly that we are not happy and this bill in its current form needs to go and they could find much better things to try to regulate as opposed to try to stifling and muzzling people of this country. But we will speak, we will not be intimidated, we will not be cowered, and our voices will be heard tomorrow and they will be heard at future events. And no government, tyrannical or otherwise, will say to the people of this country who voted them in that they will muzzle us. I will
Amen.
not be muzzled. Rose will not be muzzled. Caswell said he will not be muzzled. And I'm sure that the people on the loyal opposition will not be muzzled as well. So thank you very much, and I have a good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow at the March Kensington Oval, 10 a.m.
Thank you. Thank you, Kimar. General, what do you say to us as we go?
I will say to you simply this: I am not offended by anything these people get in Parliament and say. Edmund Hickson, for instance, I have the same regard for him, like in his field, politics, as I had for Chuck E.D. Shirt and Calypso. They were both clown princes, and that is basically it. They use these people. He is so um, discredited that the people will use him to say things that they don't want to say. And he would gladly say he was in cabinet, they kick him out because he was a nuisance. Couldn't get anything done. So he could lecture me and or say anything to me and make me feel bad. They call us anarchists. They call us all kind of manner of foolish things, but they don't bother me because I know who I am. And I know that in the end, the truth will out. The old people say the truth will out. Well, the truth will out in this case. Have no fear. The scales are falling from the people's eyes, and they will see who is discredited or not. Because people talk pretty talk, but I have not seen any pretty action from this government. I would have been very happy if this government was successful to support them and say what they are doing is good and proper, but they are not. I cannot find very many things that would cause me to praise these people. And I find, that people might think that they're offensive, but I don't let that type of person offend me. Like you will not see me downtown arguing with Ninja Man. And as far as I'm concerned, these Ninja Men in the house will not bother me one way or the other. What I want to do is to say to the people of this country and the people who are listening to us, tomorrow, come out in your numbers because this is a very crucial time in the history of this country. If you do not stand up for yourselves, nobody will do it for you. And if the government believes that they can get away with it, they will get away with it if you Don't stand up and let them know we don't like this. And Rose was quite correct. If you have a child in your house and they have a phone, I they're coming for you, especially because I remember when before I had lost cell phones and thing, I had one of these little ones, and my son said that he can get your phone, but he hadn't any phone because I figured he can't do. And I was a little boy in back of the car at primary school, and next thing I hear him beep 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 beep. I said, "What are you doing on my phone? You imagine that?" He tell me, "I playing a game." I said, "I got a game on it." I didn't even know. And I get a little boy at primary school, and he was able to find a game and play it on the phone. So these are the people who will be getting you locked up, your children. Because when you buy a phone for your 15-year-old or your 14-year-old or whatever it is, it's your phone. So the police coming for you. So don't think they're not affecting you. So Rose is quite right. But Marcy didn't show my poster, but I will show it.
I did. It's on the. It's your poster. Is the poster for that we use for to promote the thing.
Yeah, this is it. I will not be muzzled.
Yeah, I have it up. I have it up.
And
yeah.
I don't want you to subject yourselves to muzzling either. You have to stand up for something. If you do not stand up for something, you will fall for everything. Right now, we fall for the con men and women in this administration. Because they tricked us.
Yeah.
Don't let them trick you anymore.
So tomorrow.
Come out tomorrow and show them that you have wised up. Amen. Good night, all, and I hope to see you, a lot of you there tomorrow.
Yes, good night, everybody. God bless you all. Good night.
Let we march, let we march, let we march. Barbados!
Time for people get up and make a organize.
Time to wake up.
Now them come from country and town. Kick down Jericho wall.
Opposition fall in line.
Politicians run and ball. One by one, brick by brick, they crumble and fall. Advice to the Almighty. And the trumpet call. Lies and corruption. And this administration. Lies and corruption. Beer abomination. Lies and corruption. Poverty and frustration. Lies and corruption. Mashing up the nation. Lies and corruption. And this administration. Lies and corruption. Beer abomination. Lies and corruption. Poverty and frustration. Lies and corruption. Mashing up the nation. Vaccines can't left in memory. Trident ID won't be mandatory. So you pin it, change your mouth on the elderly. Beg with your vote, then treat you like enemy.
Let we march, let we march, let we march.
All right, folks. Let we march. See you tomorrow. God bless you. Thank you, everybody, for joining. We see you tomorrow. Try to come early. Opposition, we're falling in line tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody. God bless you. Thank you, Kimar. Thanks, Caswell. Thanks to everyone.